Apocalypse from Foogle News. Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News.
What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and tonight we're going to be talking about riots that are popping up around the country again, and we're going to be talking about the previous statements of the last two nights. Some new intel has come in, so stick around for that. This is a live show, so anything can happen. We'll see you in a second.
Where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle Apocalypse from looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrongs.
All right. What is going on, guys? My name is Adam. If you've never been here before, this is a live show. I'm going to first go over my general rules, which is nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone with the show. You should always do your own research, and you should always consult with professionals. In fact, the internet is full of fake news, so please do take everything with a grain of salt. All right, now it looks like we have a full packed room in both spots right now, so we're going to talk to you guys over in a second. I am going to let you guys know, if you're new here, you can actually check out our other main channel at 156,000 subscribers. That's Marfoogle News. We are actually going to be revamping that for short edited videos. And then you can also go to our website, marfooglenews.com, and find every single article that we are going to show you here today. So if we have an article such as Internet Takes a Global Hit, which we're going to talk about, you can actually go to marfooglenews.com and go to the thumbnail today, which will look like this. The name of the show might change. Sometimes we have to retitle it depending on the algorithm gods. But you can actually click on this and you will see that you will get every single article. It's bibliography of sorts. So Dex, I'm going to introduce you as well. Dex is my co-host. You will also be updating that live as we go. So if there's any breaking news, we'll be adding that. You'll also be adding something else there, right?
Yeah. Hey, Adam. I am here. And yes, we do update that page as the show goes on with the caller information and any details that are shared with us.
So by the end of the show, if a YouTuber calls in, or if a average Joe calls in, or average Jen calls in, their pictures, their videos, whatever they have to report on will be in this section of our website. On the right side, you can also support us in any way. There's different products we are affiliates for, and of course, those are all right on the right. With that being said, obviously, there's a lot going on right now, and I think there's a lot more going on than we even know about. There's so much out there that I don't think people realize there is a whole other level going on above and beyond civilian information right now. So, with that intro in mind, remember, we are just asking questions. We try to take any information that we get. We try to vet it. If we ever make a mistake, we try to correct it. As far as everything over the last couple days, there's been a lot of talk about asteroids and things from space eventually having an impact on the planet, whether that's a physical impact or some sort of impact with our environment or something else. Again, there's Israeli News Live, which is Stephen Ben-Nun. He is actually saying that, he's getting information just today that there's also stuff going on in the Middle East, as far as that it's inevitable that the two I's would go at conflict. And if that does happen, the big U and the big S and the big A is going to be stepping in as well. Same with the big Russia and the big China. So that's a big deal as well. I know for this much that I have heard Stephen Ben-Nun say things that I have directly heard off camera that is not public knowledge, that we didn't even report, that is coming straight from an official source, somebody who is high ranking. And then I've heard him just say it straight up on his show. And I'm like, wow, he just said that. He also has had a lot of problems with, I guess, he's been almost taken down. His channel has been completely demonetized. So they try to stop anything like that from getting kind of spread through. This is not trying to be fear porn. At the same time, there's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, last year we never thought that there would be a worldwide pandemic, which there is. Whatever your opinion on it is, the fact is that it is publicly known that there is something going around the planet. We are all getting lockdowns. We're all going back into lockdown. The first time was not the last time. Apparently, places like California are going back into lockdown, closing down restaurants, and now beefing it up. Now, every single day in the news, we're seeing that the numbers are going back up. At least that is what the news is saying. So that means, and again, all of the big official sources have quoted some of the biggest names in everything saying, yes, we're most likely going to have another second wave. And then we had, straight up CDC people and this kind of stuff say there will be a second wave. They told us 3 months ago or actually about a month and a half ago at the end of the last one, that there would be another one. That means that the result from that is that we are going to be locked down again, in my opinion. On that note, there is a lot of stuff that we get as a channel of over 250,000 subscribers total. We have a lot of people that have seen us and we haven't seen them. So we get all this information and we get emails, thousands of emails a day at this point. And some of it's just like, hey, I love your show. And then some of it is information that we have to kind of comb through because I can tell if, say, somebody puts out a video, YouTube video that everybody is convinced by, I get that video shared to me 50 times, 60 times, 70 times in one day. Then you kind of know, like, oh, well, you can track it back to a YouTube video. I don't pay much attention to that as much. You'll hear any other YouTuber, including, people like RFB. I've heard him say, don't send me videos. I've heard other people say, don't send me videos. I'm okay with the videos, but at the same point, I agree with him. If you're just sending a copy of somebody else's stuff, it's hard for us to go through all those. We don't have time to watch all of them. Try to get the brunt point of that video and let me know about it. What I guess I'm saying is this is not stuff that's coming from a YouTube video and circulating through the online community. This is stuff that is coming directly from official sources, and we don't have a timetable on it. We don't have exactly when some of this may happen. It could never happen in our lifetime. What we do know, though, is money is getting put into the preparation for things now. Money is getting put into different areas. We've shown you. We can literally show you proof of every single country essentially ramping up their financials and their militaries for some sort of conflict. What is that conflict? Well, we don't know yet. But we do know that they are telling individuals it's all compartmentalized. So even if you have 1 million military members, we had close to 500, they all get little pieces of the puzzle. What is our job is to put all those pieces together. And sometimes we've got to be careful and we got to put them together, but say, hey, this is kind of our view on how we're putting these together. Right now, it looks like things are ramping up for something else. It seems like something big is there. I asked you guys last night. I said, hey, guys, all go to chat and tell me, do you guys feel like something big is on the horizon? Now, it's just a pure numbers game. Not everybody's sitting here. Not everybody in chat is a crazy, paranoid person. Almost everyone said, yes, something big is coming. It's purely the majority of our audience thinks that there is something big on the horizon, whether that be, our Lord and Savior coming back or a conflict with another country. Either way, people can feel it. People can feel that the world is changing right in front of us. It's literally changing to the point where it will affect your day-to-day basis. It has already. Again, now, you have updates going to your phone that you don't even know about, putting in software to be able to track you and your neighbor and whoever else. It's kind of crazy stuff. Dex, I wanted to ask you, you have an update that you had some breaking news happen, I believe in your neck of woods, and then in my neck of woods, I guess that's how you say it, in my neck of the woods, we had something beefing up just now. I guess in your area, you had some sort of event happen just recently?
Well, actually, no, it was in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
My family's from there, so like sort of my Heritage neck of the woods. But anyway, yeah, it's still ongoing right now. There was a protest and I guess the attempt to take over Christopher Columbus, or take down, I should say, a Christopher Columbus statue that's right there. I think it's in Lincoln Park right there in downtown Chicago. And it was pretty violent in the sense that once the police got in to try to protect it, bottles were being thrown. And then listening to the police scanner, it got really scary in the sense that they basically called all hands in. They were trying to get as many people in as possible, get the injured police out, get the ones protected, start shutting down roads. It was quite chaotic. And watching some of the event unfold and listening to the scanner. The other interesting thing, and it was that on the police scanner, on their radio system, they actually had trolls. So people were using radios to disrupt the conversation that the police were trying to have. Some of them were saying funny things or trying to be cute or mouthing off to the police on the radio, but then they were also clicking the radios, holding the radios open so that it would kind of prevent them from having solid communication from dispatch.
So again, we're talking about rogue radios. So these radios were set up to kind of interfere with what was going on with the police. And you have an event where people want to take down the statue. You've got local police, and then everybody called in to protect it. That's pretty wild. So did it end up well for the statue? Is the statue still there?
Well, the statue's still there. They did back off, and then it seems like people were dispersing and moving to different areas. But then I just saw another update that they made another emergency call, requesting SWAT, K9, and gang units to help, to be called in to help. So I don't know where we are now with the events. I think it's Friday night. We've seen this continue on in places like Portland. So I imagine now that we're on a weekend, we're going to see a handful of this stuff happen across the nation.
So, and then in Everett, Washington, in my neck of the woods, apparently you've got different groups gathering, protesting. So that could very well turn into something as well. Is that what we've? And by the way,
we just saw that they're starting to gather in Everett.
See, the thing is a lot of this stuff is actually getting out through Facebook, out of all of the social medias. A lot of people are doing live Facebooks, and you said it was pretty interesting. This guy did a Facebook collection of 10 different cameras or so.
Yeah, I think he was streaming. It may have been on Twitch, but he was using he was taking in multiple live streams and putting them all in like a montage, and he would just adjust it. If one of them dropped, then he would put another one in or adjust the screen so you could watch 4 or 5 different angles.
Okay, and then you ended up finding that shared through Facebook, correct?
Correct.
So that's kind of like the guys that I met down at Chaz or Chop. Again, I kept saying Chaz, and the guy was like, "Oh, I'm kind of weary. You a cop? You a cop? You keep saying Chaz." And, I was like, no. I never fully told you guys about that night. It was quite the interesting experience. I did get a full tour of the thing right after they took down 2 of the barriers, and it was still a huge field and everything. They had their own little hospital tent. They had a store tent. They had, it looked like a extension of a truck stop. It was like really just skeevy. They even had a dancing tent, but it was really scary as somebody going in there as a journalist. Because if you were on the wrong side of things, then you could have your stuff taken. You could have you could be beat up. That's how it felt. And I wouldn't make that up. It was literally, there was guys with AK-47s and all sorts of different, not AK-47s, all sorts of semi-automatic weapons. So it was just not a crazy experience, but at the same time, it was pretty freaky. So I'm going to go into that in detail. You guys will see. With this, obviously, this is still going on. People are still all over the country just going nuts. With that being said, we're also having attacks on different things on the internet. If we didn't have the internet, what do you guys think would happen? This is a really big deal as far as it says the internet takes a global hit as Cloudflare DNS goes down, crashing sites and services. Do you guys think that this is a coincidence that all of this is going on, that Twitter is being hacked and having all of their prominent people? I mean, this is top level stuff. It almost makes me think that it's not some insider at Twitter. In fact, and just like I said the other night, they could be saying, oh yeah, it was somebody inside that kind of opened the door for people. That would actually take away from some of the responsibility of, it wouldn't be so much like, hey, somebody broke through our security. It would be somebody from inside gave out the key to our house. That is a lot better than being, having to report that somebody actually broke through all of your firewalls, got into some of your most important accounts, including former president. You're talking about billionaires on that list. In fact, one thing that people aren't talking about is every single person there was a billionaire. Maybe Kim Kardashian isn't, but I'm pretty sure she's married to one, so she's technically, in that same club. It seemed like every name on that list was a billionaire. Was there smaller names on that list, by the way, Dex? Do we know if there was any smaller, less rich people on that list? Because it seems like it was pretty targeted.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd question if Biden's actually a billionaire, but maybe.
Oh my gosh, you just reminded me. So on top of this, I'm gonna go into just 2 seconds. I watched Red Dawn again because it was like the top suggested thing. For whatever reason, I ended up watching it. And I have seen it 3 or 4 times. The cool thing is for me, is that a lot of it was shot in Seattle in the Wallingford neighborhood, which I used to, drive around. I used to hang out there when I was a teenager. I'd ride my bike around there. So I knew that area really well, and I could tell where it was shot. If you've ever had a local movie, a movie shot where you live, it's cool to kind of see like, oh, I know where that is. Well, that movie's intro is kind of creepy because it has, like a lot of these end of the world movies or invasion movies, they have the news clips that they use to kind of intro the movie. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, please, speak up. In the beginning, it has real clips of the news kind of talking about everything. And it even talks about how Father Kim had a stroke and Kim Jong-un took over for his father. So it puts some of the more recent news when that happened. Wait a second, when did Kim Jong-un take over power? When was that? It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but if that movie was from 2012, that means that it happened a long time ago. Like, God, it seems like time is just flying. Hold on. I want to know, this must have been recent news. When did he take power? Yeah,
they were the same year, I believe, 2012, movie and him.
Okay, so they used it and they put it in there, and it's kind of a shot when you see a brand new movie and they're using stuff from like right then. It's kind of cool. It's like, whoa, how did they get that into the movie so quick? And it makes it more real. Just like 2012, there was a big buzz around that movie because it was the end of the world, and they released it kind of around the end of the world, or the rumor that the world was going to end in 2012. So they use that kind of stuff for marketing. But that movie has, after the whole thing with Kim Jong-un takes over, it shows us getting invaded and them doing paratroops. And one thing it does show too is obviously in that movie, the mayor and people are in on it. So they know it's happening. And that just kind of reminds me of what is happening right now. And if something was to go down, I bet it would go down with the pre-knowledge of some of these people. Why do you think that there's so many sites and so many things on the dark web and chatter coming out about our government actually teaming up with them? People say, oh, well, we're friends with China and we're friends with Russia. Possibly, but does that mean that it takes an invasion out of the picture? I don't think so. In fact, I think it's more of a chance the higher up that they get friends in there. But I guess back to my point is they showed Joe Biden multiple times, and I get putting like current events, but they never put Barack in there. They never put other things. They kept showing Joe Biden several times in that intro and it looked like he was speaking as the president. Now, at that time, it kind of worked because he was the vice president, but they didn't even show Barack. They showed him in the clips. And I was just thinking, wouldn't it be kind of crazy is if, for whatever reason, Sleepy ended up winning and this ended up happening during his presidency. It was just, as far as like, what do you call it? Pre-programming, it's just really creepy. Watch it again now, and it's weird how it makes sense. So as far as this
was
goes,
it a good movie?
Oh, Red Dawn, the original and the remake.
Well, I haven't watched the remake because I grew up with the original, and
it's got Chris Hemsworth. It's got some corny moments. It's got that that kid that used to be a chubby Nickelodeon star in it, and I just remember when I saw it, I'm like, whoa, that's that kid that used to be like goofy, and now he's considered the good-looking guy.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
I can't. He was in all sorts. I recognize him because when I was a kid, he was a Nickelodeon guy. But yeah, it is a great movie because it's got some of the experts that worked in the behind the scenes. We're going over things and how would it happen. When they do those movies, they take real teams of experts and they try to like actually make it accurate. If this was to happen, how would it happen? How would they plan through? Because they want to make it as accurate as possible and as realistic as possible. And they did do a somewhat good job on that movie. But either way, you would want to watch the remake if you've seen the original. First, it was Twitter VIPs getting hacked earlier this week, and today, large swaths of the internet itself went down for a while. See what I'm saying? This is not a coincidence. An outage of the Cloudflare DNS service saw websites and connections all over the globe DOA for almost an hour this afternoon. The issue has been identified, and a fix is being implemented, said the widely used web infrastructure and website security company about 10 minutes ago on its status page. The intermittent outages range from LA to Amsterdam. This was worldwide, once again, with the heavily subscribed Amazon Web Services and media sites like Politico and others dark or frozen at times. Is this just an accident? Do you think it was because of maintenance? Do you think it was because of something else? It seems kind of funny that Bezos was also the target of the Twitter attack and then his company. Are we going to see more of this? Are we going to see... this seems like it's very high up. Like somebody... This is a country. This is somebody doing it to us. Again, I can't stress right now how much is going on beyond what the civilian information has. This is big. It says customers using Cloudflare services in certain regions are impacted as requests might fail and or errors may be displayed. Cloudflare declared earlier in the day data centers impacted include SJC, DFW, Seattle, LAX, Orders, IAD. I mean, this was all over the place. They added using city and county airport codes. So what do you guys think?
So Adam, real quick, the way Cloudflare works is it sits between the people that are trying to connect to a website and the website. And, a lot of people use Cloudflare, even we do. And what happens is it helps speed up the internet by caching everything and making things run faster. And it moves information. Like if somebody wants to see a picture on a website, it replicates that picture across servers around the world so that if you're in Sweden, you're not having to pull that picture all the way from the original server, say in Chicago. You get it fed to you right off of a Sweden server. So this is like a global system. It's called a CDN, and Cloudflare is one of the biggest, and there's a couple other really big ones. But when you take down somebody like that, you really do instantly affect a huge swath of the internet. And that's what we saw today. It was kind of scary when it went down. I was kind of panicking, looking around, trying to see what all was being affected at the time.
I mean, for that to happen, would you agree that this had to be somebody who had a budget, somebody who possibly might be higher up, or what do you think?
Well, yeah, I would think if this was a hack or an attack, then it's definitely some serious players. This isn't small game.
Can I ask, because you know a lot about the tech side of this, what would happen, do you think, in your opinion, have you ever thought about what would happen if they knocked out the entire internet? I mean, would we even know the ramifications of that? It would be quite ranging, I would assume.
Yeah, it would be, there's so many things, even with our digital communications today, even with phones and stuff, that are all really dependent on in IP technology. It would be interesting, depending on how they knocked it down and what went down. It could be catastrophic. It could be a serious pain in the butt, or it could just be a step back into the dark ages as far as information goes. There are certain vulnerabilities or certain areas that are more significant than others, like taking down domain name servers, which would be a step higher than Cloudflare, or originating DNS server. Something like that would bring the entire network down. But there's a lot of redundancy that they try to put in. But yeah, it would be pretty scary.
We're talking about if the entire internet went down, you are talking about the kind of the prequel to something far, far worse. This does not, if people are kind of still sleeping, thinking that there's nothing going on behind the scenes, then they need to wake up. I know that there's a lot of different opinions, and God forbid if everyone had the same opinion as me, that would not be awesome. It would be far from it. But I would say that people need to understand that this is some serious stuff going on, and it's all kind of pushed right under the rug as far as publicly. Somebody actually just said, what was it? Rockin' Arts said, glad to be here with like-minded. Great statement, too. Like-minded. We don't have to be the exact same. But at the same time, it's the fact that we are open and we're trying to ask. We're trying to ask questions. Somebody put it really well. Now I'm trying to remember who it was. But they said, I know why I love your show. And it's because it's like talking to a good friend about all the things you notice in the world. It's not, we're not trying to be, we're not trying to change your opinion on anything. We're trying to ask questions that may lead you to do your own research on everything. Remote Chris, thank you for the diamonds, guys. Any Twitter CEOs missing? Admin password? ? Says Necro13. Kelly2334, thank you for, again, supporting tonight. Just like Venezuela, says Big Bear. With Venezuela, they actually full grid down. Was that a practice run? Who knows? What'd be funny to think about? Did they have their internet go down before their power? I wonder. Ellen Degenerate just followed. Welcome to the Foogle fam. And as always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. Sippadoodles, thank you for resubbing and keeping that Marfia badge. Miss Cat Stiletti, Foogle fan, thank you for being here tonight. Alaska Prepper says, hello, Adam and Foogle fam. Please get as prepared as you can now. This is Alaska Prepper saying this. Make sure to check out his channel. Don't wait until after an accident to get insurance, so get your food insurance now. Thank you for what you do, Adam, and many blessings to you and your family. Do you get what he's saying? You don't wait to get car insurance until after your accidents. He said get your food now, not later. Don't wait until the empty shelves again. Remember, when all of the country had empty shelves and they were totally overwhelmed by everybody panic buying, a lot of our Marfoogles out there in the wild all had food just saved up. They had their stuff. They weren't really tripping about it. We have thousands of comments on our videos that prove it. So remember, if you pull anything from this show, it's to get prepared for anything. We don't know what's going to happen next. No one does. Lola Cafe, thank you for your support. If you do a $10 super chat like that, please write a message or say hi so I can get to know you. Remote Chris, hit that like button, show the love. Well, thank you for being on both platforms there. Dad the Gamer says, love Foogle fam. I really miss the Discord server. Again, Dad the Gamer, for anyone, and if you guys do financially support, we're trying to build something. We realized we were providing a service that really couldn't be replaced. So now we are trying that. So we're working on different options, and we're basically going to try to build something of our own. Christopher Coronado, thank you for following. If you don't know why our Discord was taken down, they said it was because people were sharing videos that were misinfo. It wasn't because of my videos or my things shared, but yet they took my Discord. Just doesn't make sense, but whatever. Lindsay C says, here is some love. Grateful for the Foogle fam. We are all in this together. Thank you. And then Susan Donahue says, get prepped up, get prayed up, and put on the full armor of God. We are #Team Humanity. Thank you, Susan, for being here every single night. Thank you for supporting as much as you can and as much as you do. Robert Tataris says, we can't even begin to imagine what is coming. It says, for the Marfoogle Wii one, says, really, really? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Where we go one, we go all. Trust the plan, says Bobby Bolin. Really, really says, thank you for all you do, Adam and Dex. And Butterfly Babe, thank you for being the last one out. Backwoods Ingenuity says, the best time to prep and pray is now, not later. Keep the tank full, your cabinet stocked, etc. Live free, travel light, work hard. Love Foogle fam, Adam, Dex, and mods. Cam Marr says, in event 2.0.1, they said they would take down the internet due to misinfo. In event 2, they said they would take down the internet due to misinfo. Chicky R, what is going on? Thank you for the support again with you as well. Write something so I can get to know you. Just say hi or shout somebody out. Okay, so I'm going to get back to this. What do you guys think of this? Do you guys really think that this is all some coincidence? Obviously not. I mean, I bet there's 1% in here that might think that. This is some serious stuff, guys. If you guys want to protect your digital footprints and not be traced, you should be looking at these eDeck bags. We work with them because they were one of the best companies out there. They're already doing business with FBI, DOJ, and again, these guys make a product that usually is used for evidence bags, so people can't remotely wipe their evidence in their evidence rooms. So these basically stop all of the signals from going out in nothing. If you do not want to be contact traced involuntarily or voluntarily, you can actually travel with one of these. They also make a utility bag. What's on screen is the off-grid. It's their fanciest. The utility one, actually, you can use your phone while it's in it. Obviously, you won't get reception, but you can still go through your messages, go through everything that's saved later. That is, again, marfooglenews.com/eDeck. It helps support our show. It helps us build our show out, and it will actually protect you. It's a high-quality product. Again, that's the only thing we want to do. If we do affiliate with somebody, we make sure that it is really, really top-notch. Scientists identify 6 different types of CV with increasing severity levels. So this is kind of what I said earlier, is like that some places might have, the common this, and some places might have some really bad version of this. That was back, remember when it was 1 strain, then it was 2 strains, and then a big article came out that said it was 7 different strains. I think Dex now it's like up to 30 or 22 different strains. I don't know if that's correct. So I know there's at least 7 strains of CV, but is there more now? I think they found lots more, right? And Dex is on the phone. That's right.
Hey, I'm back.
Is there more than 7 strains of CV? Is that, I know we covered 7.
I think we even have something on it, unless you were already covering it. I'm sorry.
Let's see here. 6 distinct types of CVs have been identified by scientists, a breakthrough that promises to save lives by flagging the highest risk patients. Flagging. It says analysis of thousands of cases by artificial intelligence. Okay, this is just going downhill real quick. Software has revealed different, quote, clusters of symptoms and ranked them in order of severity. It says headache and loss of smell are common to all 6 groupings, but the range of symptoms varies widely after that. It says scientists at King's College London found that patients with the 6th type of are nearly 10 times more likely to end up needing breathing support than patients in the first group. This is significant because often patients deteriorate to a critical stage several days after showing symptoms. The new ranking system should flag up to the highest risk cases and give doctors an opportunity to intervene earlier. So they're using AI to actually get in there and find the high risk ones.
And do you think that's all there is, or do you think there's more?
Oh, 6?
Yeah.
No, I think it's as many as issues people have. If as there's thousands of different ailments that people have that could, take their life away. I think there's thousands of different kinds of CV. That's just a personal opinion, though. So we'll see with that, I guess. As far as we'll cover the official stuff, if you guys want to read this article, you can actually go to marfooglenews.com. It's all backed up there. And if you guys want to call in, remember the number is right down below. It's 224400-MARF. We're going to be taking live calls here in a minute, so make sure to get in early. Again, that's 224400-MARF. The MARF is down here. It's, I believe, 6273. All right, and then back to it. Atlanta Mayor T-Man broke city's mask rule, ignored science. It says that Georgia Governor Brian Kemp sued the city of Atlanta over its face mask requirement just after President DT arrived in the city without wearing a mask. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms said Friday. It says in an interview with CBS on This Morning, Bottoms questioned the timing of the lawsuit filed shortly after T-Man's Wednesday visit to the city, calling the litigation really odd. It says, I pointed out that Donald violated that order when he landed at our airport and did not wear a mask, she said. She said that Kemp is, quote, a T-Man loyalist, and he seems to work very hard to please the president of the United States. And it is often at the expense of the people in our state. So this is your governor, correct? This is
No, that's our Kemp is our governor, and Keisha Bottoms is our mayor. And
they're totally opposite.
They've been going back and forth at each other around. He was the one who filed the state of emergency and rolled out the National Guard to put basically enforcement on the streets of Atlanta. He used it under the guise of protecting all the state buildings, just so they could get the Georgia State Patrol from the state buildings into the streets so they could actually help the city of Atlanta. And, of course, she was offended by that and said, oh, no, we don't need help. And then the same time changed the limelight and said now she has CV. She announced it like 2 hours after he did that. So then she did the mask thing, but that was after he had announced that the masks would not be mandated and made a law saying no one could force you in a public space. So then she came out with her law and said, yes, we will force you. And he says, no, the state supersedes it. So they've been going back and forth.
So your governor is kind of like the antithesis, or the complete opposite of our governor here, because our governor is just completely the opposite way. Same with our mayor. We have both. You actually have a governor and a mayor that are complete opposites. You have one on the R side and one on the D side, and they're just like battle the whole time.
I guess we're sort of in one way fortunate that the entire state is a little different than just the city of Atlanta. So there's always this balance, typically between, who's running what and how that works out, because obviously the big city is typically on one side that's much different than the rest of rural Georgia that's on a different side.
Yeah, it's at least you have some sort of balance. I almost think that it's good to have one person that's totally on this direction and one person's on the other to kind of balance out the bias. My state is just completely screwed. Somebody said, David Bruton says, did you see Israel's latest video? I don't know if you're talking about Israelis News Live, talking about the conflict that he says his source says that there's a guaranteed conflict that is going to happen between the Middle East countries, I. I did see that one. As far as Jacob, I did see that last video. But, again, why has he not done a video in 3 days? Maybe he's busy. By the way, did we end up getting him or no? Probably not.
Not yet.
Okay. It's super late where he is. We were gonna
that's what I was thinking.
We were gonna have Jacob Israel on, but we were trying to do an earlier show, but it did not work out. So yeah, we'll have Jacob Israel, and you guys, if you want, you can ask him questions. Winter Willow, Marf, I got a video of a white ball UFO fly over my house. Check it out on my channel. It's unedited, but only short. Truly eye-opening, says Winter Willow. Well, we might just check that out here in a minute. I will remind myself to go look later when we're in the calls. Shay, watch 3 markets next week, and you'll know what's coming next. DXY, gold, groceries. Boom. Those 3 markets is what Shay is saying. Watch those 3 markets, and you'll know what's coming. That's creepy and ominous. Morgan Truelove says, love every show. Well, thank you. I appreciate that again. And then Mike Adelphia, thank you for following. As always, if you subscribe during a live show, you will get a shout out. And I will find you. And I will shout you out. Okay, that was weird. Continuing on. This is actually, Dex, you found this. This is from your Twitter. Can you explain this? This is your role as a security guard.
So this is from the security groups at Walmart. This was a letter supposedly, but it looks really official because you can see the logo at the top. But it basically explains how security should deal with people coming into Walmart. And it specifically about dealing with the subject of masks and the fact that Walmart, along with like lots of other companies, have now rolled out their own mask policy where if it's not mandated in your state, they're going to mandate it in their store. So the one thing, though, in this letter that really got me worried about was this notion of calling a specific and filing a specific legal...
The outreach.
Yeah, that outreach thing. That's interesting, is it not?
So just to show you, right here, it says, alert a member of management that the customer is entering without a mask and without an exception. So I'm guessing that they do ask. And then it says, if police have asked to be notified when this situation occurs, management will call the police and log the call using the Law Enforcement Outreach Health Agenda form. The Law Enforcement Outreach Health Agenda form. Where do you think that name goes? It actually does say, though, and this is by the way, this is the like rule number 1 for any store, but it seems like nobody follows it. Never engage a customer and never physically stop. What happened to old school, like customer service, customers are always right? That's just been out the window for like 20 years now. But physically stopping them. Every video you see, there's some tough guy that's like, you know, that 60-year-old man that walked in and the guy was being a jerk. Yeah, he could just go and put one on. But the big Samoan guy, like blocking him out and pushing him and grabbing him, it's like, dude, if you're getting paid $10 or $12 an hour, why would you put your life at risk to stop some jerk? Just, you know, if you have to call the police or do something, whatever. But why would you?
Yeah, that's all out the window now. It's completely.
And then people gathering like in groups of 8 and 10 and like mobbing people that aren't wearing one. You don't know that person's scenario. They could have asthma. I will tell you this. There's a lot of people that do have a doctor's excuse for it now. And they're specifically going to the doctors to get a piece of paper that says I can't wear one. And don't think it's like some BS. There are people with COPD. There's people with asthma that they cannot wear it. I know I have family. My mom had COPD. You would never put a mask over my mom. You know, she passed away. She could barely walk, 5 feet without having to stop. There's people that cannot wear one. Even just a little cover over the mouth, or even in a small room, they can't breathe, let alone with something over their face and their mouth. So I'm not saying to everybody not wear one. I'm not at all saying that. I'm saying if in this situation, it's like, why don't they ask? And why are we seeing all these videos of 10 people just not even engaging except for like, get the hell out of here, you freak. And I mean, it's like cancel culture in real life. It's like, get out of here.
From the civilians, absolutely. What I'm seeing, and just another point that's going on here, a lot of this is going to be about litigation. As we've seen, gone are the days, back when we were kids, if you were caught shoplifting, the manager or the bouncer at the door would literally throw you in the back room and call the cops. They would grab you. That stuff's gone because of litigation. That won't happen anymore because of liability. They won't touch you. I mean, my kids were growing up and they worked in the local stores. They were told if people shoplift, you just let them shoplift and you call the cops and you can't do anything about it. And the same thing happens with the mask now is they're not going to stop you, but they are going to call. But the other interesting thing that I noticed
facial recognition.
All of a sudden,
facial recognition. All the Walmarts are putting facial recognition in the future. They won't have to call the cops. They'll let you do it. They'll get you ticketed or arrested in person with the facial recognition that's getting put in all these Walmarts. That was just my thought. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the other thing that I noticed today, we saw one of our major grocery stores announce that next Tuesday they were doing their own mask mandate. And we were like, oh, great. Now we have that at our store, which was Publix. But then it happened at store after store after store today. I saw about 7 or 8 stores that all announced. And what it hit me was that what's happening is now there's a liability. In other words, these insurance companies, and this is just my hypothesis, but I'm almost certain this is what's going on. These insurance companies that insure these stores against liability, if somebody falls and trips or gets hurt, are probably coming into the grocery stores and these other shopping stores and saying, you have to have this type of policy or we're not going to cover you. And of course, then the store is going to be like, well, we have to have insurance. So we're going to put up a require masks to get in. And then once, a large swath of stores have done it, because we've seen Target, Walmart, Publix, other major shopping grocery stores, chains are all doing it now. Once a majority of them have done it, you don't want to be the outlier. You don't want to be the holdout, because then what happens is you become the target for a liability lawsuit. So those insurance companies are going after them and saying, if you don't do this, we're not going to cover you. That's my hypothesis, but it seems like they're all falling like dominoes all at the same time. And that leads me to believe it's systematic from something above.
And not only that, if you look at the bigger picture, this is all getting prepared for the implementation of the facial recognition powered by AI. That is going to be implemented it's being implemented right now, but you are going to see within the next year to 2 years, every Walmart, Target having, if they don't already have it, facial recognition. They already have been using it in certain Walmarts, and you can see it. They even put it out there so they can see, like, smile, you're on camera, but not only that, it recognizes and it puts boxes around people. We've gotten plenty of tweets of people just walking up to that screen, taking pictures, and it's creepy. And it's going to be implemented into Ring cameras. Think about everybody's doorbell. Everybody gets them now, right? Everybody's doorbell being a spot, basically being a snitch on every street, snitching out anybody that has thing. Where the problem is like, well, if you're not committing a crime, who cares? That's great and all. But what if you are unjustly accused of committing crime? That's the thing. The whole purpose of all of these things is to safeguard our rights, and our rights are flying out the window, literally flying out the window. It's getting scarier and scarier. And what if that makes a mistake and mistakes somebody who kills somebody at a Target, and they get just a certain angle, and that machine makes a mistake, and maybe you don't have a receipt for where you were. All of a sudden, you're on death row. I mean, this is some scary stuff. Again, I think that it's partly, everything has a plan. Federal officers deployed tear gas and fired less lethal rounds into a crowd of protesters in Oregon, hours after the head of the Department of Homeland Security visited Portland and called the demonstrators violent anarchists. So this was the head of the DHS said, these guys are violent anarchists. And then hours after that, boom. Video showed many protesters leaving the area near the federal courthouse late Thursday as smoke filled the air. Protests have taken place for nearly 2 months in Portland since the killing of GF in Minneapolis on May 25th. It's been a really wild, crazy. Isn't it crazy that it's only been 2 months and all this stuff has gone down? And for that, they're going to put stuff in play. Did
you hear about the unmarked vans they were using?
No. What's up with that?
So apparently the feds, this is what's being reported. There's videos all over Twitter. You just search for Fed and Portland and you'll see it and look at videos. But the unmarked vans are rolling in with feds who jump out in tack gear, typically camo colored or green colored. And they're grabbing people, protesters or people that probably, I'm assuming that somebody they're looking for, but they're literally, it just looks like they're grabbing somebody out of the crowd, throwing them in the van and leaving. An unmarked van. It looks like a minivan pulls up and snatches somebody.
Well, as far as that goes, I've seen it with what is it? I want to say DOJ or somebody like that. Whoever watches in downtown Seattle, they would have these unmarked vans, and there's a kind of a 6 or 8 block area that's supposed to be a drug-free and alcohol-free zone. None of the little mini marts can sell alcohol from this spot to this spot because the city is so bad in that area that they don't want the homeless congregating and things like this. Well, it's also a no-go zone because of all of the drug dealing that goes on. If you're from Seattle, it's between like Pike and Bell Street. It was that area. They have the people that have warrants, or they're on DOD. I think it was DOC. Sorry, it's DOC, Department of Corrections. They have a gun that is actually a facial recognition thing, and it's been around for at least 5, 6, 7 years. They point it at somebody, and it will tell them if they're on record and supposed to be in that neighborhood. Well, say they find somebody that's not supposed to be in this drug-free zone. In fact, it's all part of their probation. Like, you cannot be in this part of the city. They do this thing, and it's a camera. It literally has on the back of it. It looks like a speed gun. And they point it at them, and then once they have a positive, they pull over in an unmarked white van, open the door, 4 or 5 of these, yoked out sheriffs grab them and put them in. Sometimes they were even unmarked clothing. Imagine that, like being at the bus stop, and somebody is grabbed right next to you. It's freaky, but that's how it's going to get like that times 10 in the future. So I believe it as far as I've seen it, personally with DOC. But as far as like protesters, that's just crazy. That's legal kidnap. Absolutely nuts. If you guys have not tried earthing yet, this is something that I do. It's something that a lot of the Foogle family members now do. Again, this is something that's been around forever. This is something that you can actually technically do for free. If you stand out in the grass, it is an amazing experience. It's called grounding. But again, this is the affiliate we work with. In fact, Clint Ober is actually one of the main guys behind it, in part of the whole thing, bringing it to the mass markets and doing the medical studies to back it up. These products are basically things that you can put and do it while you sleep or do it while you work. There's patches, there's bed mats. If you haven't tried this, then you just have to. It's literally something that you can only find out about from somebody. Big Pharma doesn't like these guys because it literally does help almost all kinds of different inflammations. As far as arthritis or anything, it's helped my digestion. It's helped all sorts of things. So again, earthing, you can go to marfooglenews.com/earthing and look at the different products. Otherwise, though, just a general thing is if you can't get one of these, if you can't afford it, you can still do it. You can go out and stand in the grass. These are made for basically, not everybody can go out and just stand in the grass for 8 hours a day, which is, that amount is recommended per day. You can easily, though, sleep on a mat and get it all in one day. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/earthing. It's a great company. It's absolutely amazing products, so check it out. And then New Mexico officer facing second-degree murder charges in chokehold death of Antonio Venezuela. Charges against Las Cruces police officer who is accused of killing a man during a traffic stop in February were increased from involuntary manslaughter to second-degree murder. It says Thursday when the New Mexico Attorney General Hector Balderas announced his office would be taking over the case. The maximum possible sentence for involuntary manslaughter is 18 months. Second degree carries a sentence of a maximum of 15 years. So with good time, he's basically doing a decade in jail. It says Christopher Smelser, accused of killing this guy, Antonio, on February 29th after placing him in a vascular neck restraint. It says police video from the incident shows Smelser cursing at Venezuela at the cop and telling him he was going to choke you out, bro. So he was telling the cop he was going to choke him out? That's how it looks. It says we are taking over prosecution and focusing on appropriate charges for violent and dangerous chokeholds. So it's a vascular neck. So this is behind the back. This is behind the back neck chokehold, apparently. Huh. The world. All known fires on USS Bonhomme Richard have been extinguished. Dude, Dex, this is like a week later. How did they have so many flippin' fires? That's insane. Why would there... So, is there any kind of good explanation of why there was so many fires on this Navy ship? And what started the fires? And how did it keep going in a metal ship? I guess you guys are... Some of you may be experts, and I'm sure the experts are going to be in the comment section. Experts. Why would a Navy ship be on fire for a week straight? They said that they were trying to keep it away from the fuel, so a lot of this, it went 3 days long without hitting the fuel. So what's the deal? It says after over 4 days of frantic firefighting aboard the stricken amphibious assault ship, the USS Bonhomme Richard, berthed in San Diego Bay, U.S. Navy says all of the fires aboard have been put out. This great news comes after the ship listed in the opposite direction overnight. It says forcing the evacuation of the vessel and the pier it is tied up to for a period of time while the situation was assessed. This is so confusing to me. So how did it start? Does anybody know how this thing started? Was this some sort of like low-key attack? How did this thing, first catch fire? Was it faulty wiring?
So, the only thing I heard on how it started, Adam, was that it started from a welder. But I don't know, if that's official or if that's just
ship.
a rumor. It just seems odd that a welder alone would cause all of this damage.
Okay, but how? Okay, I'm so confused. There's no accelerant. If you've ever been on a tour of a Navy ship, it's all metal. How would it possibly travel through so many areas of the ship?
So the only other thing I was thinking, it's one of those amphibious ships. There's lots of vehicles on board, whether they're choppers, even I don't know if F-35s are on there or not, because they can take off a certain way.
They can take off vertically.
But yeah, so I don't know, maybe if it's those things that are burning independently and causing, I don't know. But yeah, I am puzzled by this. And I guess we won't really know until maybe a report comes out years from now or maybe soon, who knows. But, obviously it's being kept under wraps.
Okay, so something tells me this is like some sort of space weapon. Because I know that sounds crazy. I'm just saying, look at this. It says, our fire teams are investigating every space to verify the absence of fire until every space is checked and there are no active fires. We will not be able to commence any official investigations. So they can't investigate, right? Something's weird with this. It says, we did not know the origin of the fire. We do not know the extent of the damage. It's too early to make any predictions or promises of what the future of the ship will be. We cannot make any conclusions until the investigation is complete. What we do know, the brave sailors from commands all over San Diego worked tirelessly alongside federal firefighters to get this fire extinguished, and I want to thank them for their efforts. This was a Navy team effort. We had support from air and sea. What? 3 helicopter squadrons conducting more than 1,500 bucket drops, fighting the fire and cooling the superstructure and flight deck, enabling fire crews to get on board and fight the fire. Tugs also provided firefighting. I just don't understand it. It's a steel ship, even if it's an amphibious. I don't understand this. I'm so confused by this. I mean, they're made to be shot and things, like they don't just catch fire. The reason they don't have much fabric, I mean, it's not like they have curtains. They have portholes with no covering. These are Navy ships. So maybe some of you, I'm going to go over to the chat. How do you guys, anybody in the Navy here, please speak up. Do you think that a fire could go 4 days and them not know how it happened and all of this? Like, is this just me that thinks this is weird? Oh, and by the way, they say I and I are going at each other. Somebody just said that. Retaliation from China and the ships burning. Do you guys... Okay. Oh, my God.
Yeah, all the ones that were catching fire in Ryan.
Oh, no. I wasn't even thinking about that. Do you remember China just had one of their ships catch fire?
Oh, yeah. That's true.
I mean, look at this. Oh, my gosh. Chinese Navy ship. This is... Dude... New Chinese assault carrier, one of their newest ships. This is just April 11th. Black smoke has been billowing from China's first assault carrier in Shanghai. The new Type 075, which is similar to the U.S. Navy's America-class assault carriers, is designed to carry helicopters, hovercraft, and support amphibious landings. Like, really? This thing basically, this is the same ship in China. How are people not putting this together? Look at this ship.
Well, and Adam, just remember, I think we did cover this 2 days ago. 7 ships in Ryan port all caught fire.
This is space-based weapons, guys.
That's crazy because that's 3 different locations. Same thing.
I think Stephen Benoon is right. We are about to see. There's a small window between when it goes off between I and I that we will be able to do what we need to do. Look at this. You guys. I'm not trying to lead you in any kind of way. You guys can find your own way here. May have been sabotage, but blamed weather and accidents for the others. A large fire broke out on a shipyard in the southern Ryanian port city of Bushur on Wednesday, burning 7 ships and sending plumes of black smoke billowing above the city skylines. The fire followed dozens of recent fires and explosions across their forests, factories, and military and nuclear facilities in the past 3 months.
What if somebody has this technology, somebody who's not being affected by this, and they're using it against all of these countries?
Like NK or something?
Yeah, or Russia or someone else. Or what if it is our technology? Maybe we're the only ones that have it, but somebody's hacked into it and they're using it and they've taken it over.
This is nuts. We should put this out on main channel and get this out. This is like too much of a coincidence. Chinese amphibious support ship and then our amphibious support ship. This is a tit for tat, in my opinion. Auntie M, thank you for the diamond. Guys, Kahaja Fly Girl, thank you for being here every night. I really appreciate you, everybody that comes out every night and supports. Thank you, guys. The poo is hitting the fan. Look up Redemption, says Debbie O. You know, it's just, when you put this stuff together, people go, it's a coincidence, dude. Okay, dude, you were a coincidence. Your mom was a coincidence. I'm just kidding. But no, you probably were a coincidence. Like, oh, just happened to be on that day. And Cypher 101, Maui Racing Realtor is in the house. Thank you guys for coming and supporting. Do you guys think I'm crazy for making that connection? I mean, come on. Chinese ship, amphibious support ship, catches fire 3 months ago. Then Ryan, 7 ships. Then all of a sudden ours catches fire for 4 days straight. If it was in multiple places all over the ship, does that mean that somebody had to be in there for multiple times and set off multiple things? How would a Navy ship actually catch fire in multiple places? And they can't make it look like, they can't just be a direct hit. It can't be a submarine that shoots something. It's got to be some sort of sabotage. It's got to be somebody who is hired on to do work on the ship or come on, it's at port. How would there be multiple fires on a ship? If you've ever been on a Navy ship, it just doesn't make sense.
We've seen this before. Where else have we seen multiple fires starting in weird places, burning in things that didn't exist, burning things that shouldn't burn, and not burning things that should burn?
I don't know. It's just crazy. Davio, thank you again. Mad Cat Kitty, thank you for being here as well. Looks like you just received a Marfia badge from Mr. Cortana. Thank you guys for all of the folks that have subscribed. North 40 Lady, thank you for following. As always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. And I will shout you out. End Times, what is going on? Do direct energy weapons like the CA fires. And by CA, we're talking about Cali. I think there's a lot of weirdness there. Baldy Locks Awake says direct energy weapons. Think about it. Space Force, everything that's going on right now. It says just one big game of Battleship, Cali Kit Kat. Like literally. Only they know where all of the ships are. It's like they're cheating at cheating. Manny P says San Diego Navy ship burned for 5 days straight. That's what we're talking about, Manny. It's absolutely nuts. Second wave of CV doesn't take us out. Unleash the alien invasion, says Tuck Pup. Thank you for the Ninja Guinea. I appreciate it. MC Rebel News F. Thank you for the lemon. I can't say your whole name. It's bad wordsies. Love and Light 777. Thank you. Cali Kit Kat. Thank you for gifting a 1-month subscription. Looks like Love and SC ended up grabbing that one. Solar Doverin. Thank you for being here. Janelle Lazaro says, no fear. Again, these things are we're not supposed to be afraid of these things. The Foogle fam, once you start watching and start hanging out with a lot of the people in here, we're all trying to be like-minded and at least be open-minded. The fact is, we look at this stuff and we try to accept it. If you are afraid or if you watch my show and it's not good for you, like it doesn't make you feel good inside, then you actually should stop watching. Some people are not meant to watch the kind of stuff we talk about. Anything with Yellowstone, Cascadia, or any kind of scary subject. Some of you may have to look at yourself and be like, I'm an adult, but I don't watch scary movies because it doesn't make me feel good. Same thing with this. It can be, I guess they call it fear porn because people can get addicted to negativity. We're not trying to be negative here. We're trying to look at things face on. If you ever have to take a break from my show, I don't blame anybody. I know the kind of stuff that we talk about, and it's actually kind of hard to cover stuff, especially when you know some of the stuff behind the scenes. It's scary, and the whole thing is we need to face it and be positive and almost be happy and just realize that every day is borrowed here. So, Angela 1609, thank you so much for being here. Cascadia Cutlery, I love that name. Thank you for being here. DH says, I got a positive outlook on life. Everyone else is putting a muzzle. I just usually end up catching the replay. It gets late. Cypher 101. Well, thanks for watching the replay either way. B, what is going on? I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. Heather Vanderfort, Melissa Vanderfort. No fear. God's got this. Lijaloo, what is going on? Danif, Priscilla. We've got one more mom. Rose to the moon. Thanks for coming out today. All right, but guys, this is the last one of the day, so make it count. Again, when we do any of these, we do stuff that we actually support. If you guys are not protecting yourself with a VPN, you should be. Again, either Dex or I will tell you right now there is a lot going on with digital crimes. So don't have your credit score that you worked for your whole life get taken out or your identity be taken or people just going straight into your computer. Put yourself somewhere else with a VPN. It's a virtual private network. It can actually put yourself looking like you're somewhere else. Again, it's used for all sorts of different things, but it can block the bad guys from phishing. It says marfooglenews.com/VPN is where you get it. Again, it will hide your IP from the bad guys, and it works on 6 devices. This helps our show, and it helps us broadcast and get bigger and bigger. We are trying to expand, so it would be greatly appreciated, but if not, I would get one anyways. In fact, a lot of different creators have different VPNs. You can go to either one of them. If you have a creator in mind that you want to support, go through one of them. A lot of creators have different VPNs. I think Nord is the best. They're rated in the top 5. They're in most of them rated number 1. Tuck Pup, Second Wave. Again, thank you for that. We've got David Locke. Patriot Nomad. World Bank change overcoming. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you have not seen this yet, there's a change shortage all over the country. Some places are not physically taking money, and now somebody actually told me, and I have got friends that were saying that in certain states you actually could just walk out with the product. I would not do that unless you look at your stuff. But if a place physically turns down U.S. legal tender, in some places they say that that's actually against the law and that the debt was paid in full or something. I don't know if that's true. But I did think it was an interesting thing because places are literally not accepting cash right now. Literally.
I have an answer.
Is it true?
So yeah, it's true in the sense of debt. So if you go into a store and you're conducting commerce, you're not in debt. So a store can restrict whether or not they want to accept cash or if they don't want to accept large bills.
But they have to do
because
it
you're not in
permanently.
debt to them. You're doing a transaction. But if you actually owe someone money, in other words, the store gave you the products and you were going to pay for them later, now you're in debt, you're allowed to use cash.
So does that work then? I mean, so in certain instances that would be the case then, right?
Yeah, I mean, technically, you just think about the debt or anything that you owe. If you owe money to somebody for a service that's already been rendered or a product you've already been given, then yes, and then in that case, it would be considered debt and you would be paying it. But if it's a pre-transaction, like I have this, I want to give it to you and exchange it for money, I have the right to tell you in advance that I'm not going to accept bills larger than 20, or I'm not going to accept anything but exact change or whatever.
Okay, other people are confused too. I get what you're saying.
It is confusing, and because I looked into it, but yeah, it was they have the right to restrict it if they post it and say it in advance, and as long as it's not a debt.
So when you walk into a store and they post "we're not accepting cash right now," then that would not be the case. But I guess where would it be a case where it would? Because I wouldn't try this ever. Like, just don't, because you'll end up getting into a.
I don't know, if you're making the last payment on your car and you owe them a couple $100 and you want to give them $200 cash and they say no, they legally have to take it because you're paying off a debt.
Okay, so
right?
Some people are saying
that's how I look at it.
Some people are saying that there's no change problem here. Again, you are probably not in one of the places. It is absolutely insane. The fast food places all have it around here. They say due to a nationwide coin shortage, we are only accepting cash in exact amounts. So say if it's $38.30, if you give them $40, they're keeping the change, or you cannot use cash. That is what is going on right now. And for a lot of people that believe that we are at the end of using cash, the believers that they are trying to head towards a cashless society, that is literally what it looks like. But again, how is there even a coin shortage? There are so many coins.
Yeah, so the excuse that has been given, the main excuse that's been given was during the original outbreak of CV, when everything shut down, the mint shut down. And the circulation of coins is they constantly take old coins out and they produce new coins to replace them. And when the mint shut down, at the same time, we all stopped spending money. So it really wasn't a big deal. Then when we reopened the economy, the circulation didn't create enough coins during that gap. to make up for the demand that instantly came in, and they didn't have employees to run the mint at the full production. So there was a lag in the duration of time between the amount of coins that need to be made to replace the ones they pull out of circulation. So that's
I don't
why
believe
there was
it.
a shortage.
I don't
That's what
believe
they
it.
say. Now,
I don't
believe what you
believe
want.
I don't believe it. I'm just not believing it. That sounded too educated, and that sounded like it made too much sense, Dex.
It's kind of like the toilet paper game, right?
I'm starting to have second thoughts about this Dex thing. No, just kidding. No, I did not. How do you know so much of this? Like,
I researched it. I was looking into it. I was kind of curious, was it a big deal or not? And it's true. I see it at our stores. A lot of our stores say it. And it's really not the store that's doing it. They go to the bank, because they're a cash business, gas stations, places like that, right? They deal with a lot of cash. So they go to their banks every day to get cash for the day or whatever. And they're being told by their bank, we don't have any coins for you.
Yeah. So people are saying, somebody said crypto ? What? So they can track every transaction? Well, if you didn't use cash, they 100% can track everything that's going on right now. Isn't that weird? Couldn't they just couldn't the government just pull all the change out of the circulation and say, oh, it's because of this or that? And then literally you would have no choice but to use a debit card or credit card. And then all of a sudden every transaction is, would the government rather have you on record for every single transaction? Is that not true?
And it is true. And in reality, they do for the most people. Like most people, I know like maybe a larger group in our community probably like the idea of using cash and try to use it when they can. But if you look at what they do, like people pay people with debit cards, people pay people with credit cards. There's always an electronic transaction. And I would say, I don't know the numbers, but I bet if you looked into it, it's staggering what percentage is actually done without cash. I think the stuff that's cash is like side things, people buying, things off of other people, drugs, etc., things like that, right?
No,
that's obviously all cash, but we're already cashless.
Somebody
just not forced.
Just said that you need a camera. Dex actually has a full studio with a good camera. We do want to figure that out. It would be cool if it would switch between the two studios. But it's the connection problem. He's in Atlanta and I'm in Washington. So we're going to try doing that. Somebody said that I think it would be really cool if we could switch like you'd be the weather guy, but not the weather guy. You know what I mean? Like,
not the weather guy.
Over to you, Dex.
I gotcha.
You could do sections. We're trying to do a whole lot of stuff. I don't get it either, says Bohodris or Bohydrus. Yeah. Gosh, what a bunch of weird names. Icaretcher. What is going on? Stoplight, Lynn Gruen, God's Excelsia. On YouTube, we have so many new names. I am trying to get to know you guys. I really appreciate you guys all coming. Thank you for watching our show, and thank you for being a part of the fam. Have a panel of news anchors. Yeah. No, I think it would be really awesome if we could make this. The thing is bringing in new people. You guys all know what it is. But yeah. All right. So let's see here. Oh man. So Jeffrey EpiPen, victim, testifies that DT was not involved at all. This is, of course, this is this lady. This girl has been on all the documentaries. She's that one that was with Prince Andrew, right? This is the girl.
Yeah, that's her.
It says more than 2,000 documents were unsealed by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York. The papers included affidavits and depositions of key witnesses in the lawsuit. The now 33-year-old woman, she's 33? For some reason I thought she was older than that. Virginia Roberts Giurf filed against EpiPen and his associate Grizzled Maxwell in 2015. Giraffe said that the duo kept her as a, quote, sex slave in the early 2000s when she was underage. The one thing I don't get, I don't know if some of these were slaves though. She may have been, or some of the younger ones. But I think from what I've heard and from what I've researched, is one, these girls were offered extreme amounts of money. They were showered with things. So some of the older ones, like the 18, 19, because there were older ones in some of these groups, he catered to all these different celebrities and sickos. So some of them even liked, this is another thing nobody talks about. He would actually have old women brought in as well. He had all sorts of sick things done there. That island is guaranteed going to be haunted. It's probably got people buried on it. I don't even want to know about half the stuff that went on there. But I do know that some of them were there voluntarily. There was that, and then there was the other half. And he compartmentalized people so people wouldn't see the other half of it. I hope that woman gets $1 billion from his estate. I hope all of the women involved get what they deserve. I hope more come forward, and I hope women that didn't even come forward, that weren't even involved, come forward and get part of his money, because it's just, that guy was a piece of crap. May he rest in hell. All right, and then let's see here. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, make sure to do so. We're going to pull up the phones right now. I'm guessing it's too late for Israel. Is that correct? Dexy Dex? Sexy Dex?
Hey, I'm back. I missed what you said, though.
Israel. We didn't get a hold of him, I'm assuming.
Don't.
Okay.
I didn't get him.
All right, let's get our first caller on. We now have Alaska Prepper. Oh, perfect. Perfect timing. Alaska Prepper, you are live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, hello, Adam. Can you hear me?
Doing well. What is going on? So you're warning people. You just said prepare now, not later.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the time to prepare, Adam, for everyone that is not prepared yet. I actually told Dex that I wanted to give a couple of prepping tips today for those that may not be prepared or are thinking about being prepared. So if you would allow me, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to give a few prepping tips that are very easy to follow and that people don't have to spend a lot of money on to be better prepared than they are now.
Okay, and then again, this is Alaska Prepper. You guys can find him online. He does a lot of really great prepping content. He's almost at 40,000. We could get him there tonight. Again, Alaska Prepper, go ahead. So tell us what's up.
Well, the first thing I wanted to cover is water. All right. So a lot of people stock up on water. They have bottled water in barrels and things like this. But people have to remember that your water will eventually run out. So in addition to having a stockpile of water, which is a great idea, try to invest in a quality water filter. There are 2 quality water filters that I endorse. I'm not affiliated with them, but I endorse them because I use them and they are good water filters. One of them is on the high end. The other one is on the low end of the dollar spectrum. The first one is a Berkey system, a Berkey water system. Outstanding water filter that will last you years, and it will do a great job for you in getting your water clean. One thing that a lot of people don't understand is that even if they run out of water, you can find water almost everywhere. And with a Berkey water filter and or a Sawyer mini water filter, which is a $22 water filter, you can literally take water from a puddle and make it clean enough so that you can drink and cook with. So if you don't have a water filter in your preps, it is very highly recommended that you find yourself a quality water filter and put it as part of your preps, because your water will eventually run out. The other thing that I wanted to cover is if you don't have any preps besides your regular working pantry, ladies and gentlemen, for $22 you can get a 50-pound bag of rice. For about $15 you can get a 25-pound bag of flour, sugar, salt, pepper. And you can leave these things in their original containers in a dry, cool location that doesn't have any pests, and it will last well over a year in the original container. So you don't have to do anything special. If you want to get prepped in a hurry, go out and buy some of those highly calorically dense foods that will store very well for a long time, and you'll have some food insurance. And Adam, in addition to that, I was wondering if you could allow me to shout out a couple of prepper channels.
Absolutely.
And the reason I want to shout them out is because they are very young preppers, and I really want to give an advantage to these young preppers so that they can take over the realm for us older preppers when we end the game.
I love it. What are their names? By the way, this is, again, Alaska Prepper, almost at 40,000 subscribers. He also puts out what is a popular... He's also very conscious that not everybody has enough...
Payday prep.
Payday prep. So every payday, he does a video and talks about how to basically do prep cheap. The one thing about prep, though, is depending on the brands, is they way overcharge, do they not? Because they know it's a niche. It's, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. But I encourage people, especially those that are starting to prep, to start prepping on the cheap. Go buy in bulk. Go to Costco or Sam's Club. Get yourself a 50-pound bag of rice for $22. That's 80,000 calories. A 25-pound bag of pinto beans for $17, $18. That's 35,000 calories. Right there, those two things, you're looking at $30, $35. It's enough food to feed one person for well over 2 months.
You guys, look at this.
So you don't
videos.
have to go and buy the expensive foods.
Alaska, this is his channel, and if you look, he's got it to where, look at this, 21 days of food for $29. That's unbelievable. You've got every 2 weeks, he does these and literally gives you a way to survive on almost nothing. Anybody can save up $30 in a week, almost anybody. So, free payday prep. There's tons of videos here. Okay, so who are the young preppers that you want us to shout out?
Yes, outstanding. The first one is called Yosemite Prepper, Yosemite Prepper. And he's an 18-year-old prepper that's just starting out. He's got a very good personality, a great attitude. And I'm really liking that he's a younger prepper because maybe he can reach some of those younger folks out there that don't know anything about prepping and wouldn't even consider prepping.
This is great.
The second one is Happy Prepper, Happy Prepper, who's a 13-year-old prepper, Adam. And he has an awesome channel, and he's been doing videos for over 3 years. So
this is cool.
Instead of doing a love mob to me, I would appreciate it if you guys went to those channels and showed them your support, because we really do need younger preppers to spread the word to those people that really don't want to listen to us old folks with white beards.
It looks like Happy Prepper is almost at, he's been on again for 3 years. He's 13. He's been prepping and putting out videos for 3 years. Look at this young kid. One of the youngest preppers
He's a great
Happy
kid.
Prepper. Look at this. So I'm not going to play, I don't have permission to play his stuff, but look at this. Happy Prepper is right here. You guys should show love. These kids are literally going to take over the gauntlet, and they're going to continue to help people. What their niche does, their literal niche, Alaska's, everybody else, is helping people. Prepping is one of the biggest helps on the internet as far as people go. They don't know what to do, so they look for channels like this. Yosemite Prepper as well, 328 subscribers. Easily we could get them to the point like this person, we could get to monetization status if we get them to 1,000. And then, yeah, look at this, 18 years old and already helping others. So again, I hope you guys help these guys. I hope you end up shouting out the Foogle fam. And then Happy Prepper. All right, well, thanks, Alaska, and thanks for the quick tips. And, of course, the Foogle fam's got your back. So, always awesome to have you on the show. But let me ask you this. What do you think about the coins shortage?
The coin shortage, people may not like my answer. I actually think it's legitimate.
Okay,
however,
no, that's good.
When you know what they say, never let a good crisis go to waste. So first is the coin shortage, and then they'll find a reason why we shouldn't accept dollar bills, etc. And ultimately, I believe, my opinion, that their plan is that we do go cashless. However, the reason I believe that they want us to go cashless is not necessarily the tracking, but there's a better way to control us than to track us. The best way that they can control us is, Adam, what do they do to YouTube creators when the YouTube creator is not doing what YouTube wants. They demonetize you, right? So if they have full control of your money because it's digitized, how easy would it be for them to demonetize you if you're not playing ball? So that's me putting on my tinfoil hat.
Well, if you think about it, the places they don't like, they can take all of their digital platforms away, deplatform or whatever. But
That's
there's
right.
even, PayPal. They take away PayPal. Like Jordan Sather had his PayPal taken down, so therefore people couldn't even give him money. That's crazy. That's literally taking away a source of income. So I get it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's scary. We
Hey,
wake
Adam,
up every
one last
day not
thing
knowing.
Before I go, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but from what I understand, you have a new addition to the family?
Yep, number 4.
Oh,
not
hot
yet, though.
dog. Well,
Not yet, though.
congratulations, man. I wanted to confirm before I said congratulations to you.
No, November. So November, and our number 3 is only 10 months old or 11 months old. So yeah, it was unexpected. So anyways,
so you have another one coming in November?
yeah.
That is awesome. Hey, congratulations, man. That's great.
My wife was still breastfeeding, so we weren't thinking it was even possible. So I guess that was.
Hey, Adam, check this out. I just put out a video where I share with whoever sees it 2 baby formula recipes that you can make at home with your long-term preps. All right, so check it out just so you can have it.
Okay, well, we'll send all the Foogle fam, and then again, you guys can find Alaska Prepper's website, all of his stuff over at on marfooglenews.com. You'll be able to click through and just go right to his channel. You don't have to search. But either way, all 3 of these preppers, I had no problem just typing in Happy Prepper, Yosemite Prepper, and then this on the phone is Alaska Prepper. He's been around for years. He's respected in the prepping community, and he's really good at cheap preps. So if you want to prep and you're like, I don't have the money to prep, Alaska Prepper is probably the first place you should go. He has his payday preps every 2 Fridays. He's a normal Joe like all of us. So remember to go support. Thank you, Alaska Prepper. You have a great night, and we've got to do some more stuff together, okay?
Yeah, thank you very much, Adam. I appreciate you having me on, and many blessings to you and your Foogle fam.
Absolutely. Many blessings to you and your family. Have a good night. I hope all of you guys go over and subscribe. He really is a great guy. He is another, in fact, the other night I was saying Jacob Israel is somebody is the same on and off camera. Same with Alaska Prepper. Same thing. Same with Ed. Ed is Ed from Prepper Nurse 1. The prepper community has some bad apples. None of the ones that have called into our show are those. Or at least, I should say, there is one that is kind of a jerk, but still, there's most of the prepper community, they're literally, their obsession is to help other people. I think that's one of the best obsessions you could have, ever. All right. Again, give us a call at 224-400-MARF if you have any intel about what's going on, if you have a family member in the military. Up next, we have Jeffrey, first-time caller, wants to talk about NeoWise, and looks like we have some sort of picture. Is that right, Dex? Sorry about that.
Yeah, yes, that's correct, Adam. Jeffrey, you are alive, and I think these pictures, there's 2 of them that he sent in.
Okay, I'm going to pull these up, Jeffrey.
Hey, Marf.
Can you explain what we're looking at?
Yeah, so I'm in Lubbock, Texas, and you're looking at the northwest skies. The first picture was NeoWise. We saw NeoWise last night, me and my wife, so we're like, we'll go out back tonight and see if we can see them.
I'm so angry right now.
And
I still have not seen it.
So we went out tonight to see, we'll go see it again if we can. And we saw not only 1, but 2. And, I wouldn't think twice of it, but usually, I'm old school. I've been around for the Hale-Bopp, Halley's Comet, and it was all over the news. But nobody, our newscasters, their weathermen, nobody's talking about it. So it just kind of seemed odd to me.
What? This is so clear. And does it just stays there, right? It basically looks like it's frozen.
Yeah. I mean, they were moving across the sky, but it was, I mean, it's so clear. The first one was about the same time Neowise was last night. And then the second one was just like unexpected. We were like, what,
Whoa,
is that a plane or?
Wait a second. These are two different things? What are you talking about?
Yeah, those are two different ones. The first one was Neowise, and the second one is just totally unexpected, coming out of the same trajectory, but then it just shot down, say, like 60 degrees.
What do you mean you could actually see it move?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we watched it across the sky.
What in the world?
Yes.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, and I've got the video, too. I told Dex I can send y'all some video as well.
So wait, there was two items.
So if you see the trees there on the second picture, it's just a little bit over to the right, but it's the same set of trees. Two separate comets.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. We're going through a debris field. I don't believe this. They say 1.7 astronomical units. Whose tape measure is out there? Do you have a tape measure that can go that far?
Thank you.
I'm sorry. This is weird. What? So you're saying 100% you saw two, and I hear your wife wife back there too, saying the same thing.
Yeah, she was right there with me both last night and tonight. And like I said, I've been through Halley-Bopp, I've been through Halley's Comet, when I was a little kid, and the newscasters, the weathermen, nobody's talking about this. Usually back then they were like, hey, go outside from this time to this time. You could see the comet, and nothing.
Okay, so what they would say is that you just happen to be seeing Neowise, and you just happen to have an actual meteor come in at the same time.
Yep. So last night, I heard that we could see it, so we went out, and sure enough, there it was. So we're like, hey, well, we're going to barbecue tonight, so we might as well just stay out a little later, see if we can see it. And it was like, we saw the Neowise at the same time, and then the second comet came through about 10 minutes later, 15 tops.
Okay, Jeffrey, thank you so much for sharing this. And this is in Texas. And how long ago was this?
This was about 9:15 Central Time.
9:15. Dang it! We couldn't see it last night. Dex, make sure to keep those two pictures if we can somewhere. We're gonna also put those pictures so you guys can look at them yourselves on the website. Thank you for calling. And so, what you and your wife were saying on record, that the first one of those was Neowise, and the other went across the sky while you were watching at Neowise.
Yeah, I can't say 100% that it was Neowise, but last night we only saw the one, and so we assumed, right, it was Neowise. And the first picture that I sent y'all tonight was at the same time Neowise or whatever that was last night. And then 10 minutes later, the second one came in. And I also have video that I can send to Dex.
Okay, please send us that video. I'd love to see it. Again, thank you for calling in, Jeffrey. And if you get out there tomorrow night, try to have a couple cameras out there, because if you know where to look and you've done it 2 nights in a row, maybe try to get a third, because I don't have a clear view of it. Please try to do that.
Yeah,
okay?
That's right out my backyard, brother. So I'll be out there for sure, 100%.
Somebody says it's out right now in Utah. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a great night, Jeffrey. Loved the pictures. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marv. Take care, brother.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right. Dex, before we bring in Doug, 1 second. Dex, actually, do we have a website for the biometric tracking from smartphone? Oops. No, I got you on there. Dex, are you there?
Hey, yes, Adam, I'm here.
I don't have
a website. It was a conversation he wanted to have.
Okay, I'm gonna bring you in to talk to him for 1 second. I have a hunch here. By the way, Channel Jammer, the dust cloud has started. That's ominous, creepy. Kahaja Flygirl says, ha 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 ha. Ha. I actually added a ha there. Sorry, I didn't want to plagiarize. Antifa faking military officers in Portland. Scary. They're faking military officers in Portland? That's creepy. YouTube admin says, thank you, by the way, for your support. Car Council. Hey, AP, love ya. Something smells like popcorn. Hey, Alaska Prepper, been watching for over a year, says Kahaja Flygirl. By the way, what do you call it? I don't know. We tried the last 3 nights and we could not see it because of cloud cover. The one clear night, I was doing my show. So I want to see this thing. If it's not going to be back for 6,000 years, which I partly don't believe, but whatever.
Did you pull out a sky guide to see where it is?
I did, and it looked like we were supposed to be able to see it. You guys have all seen it, and it's pissing me off because
I haven't seen it.
If it is once in a lifetime, then I want to see it. Breaking news, the Sahara has no sand left, LOL. John Lewis, they say, has passed away. John Lewis. Let me pull that up. Will you introduce the caller? I just want to run and just see if I can see it, because I know it's about sunset here, and it's about an hour after. Just real quick, I'm going to run up. And then I'm going to pull up John Lewis has passed away. Died. Okay, so this is John Lewis, dead at 80. Civil rights legend, represent. Dex, will you bring in the next caller? I'll be right back.
Yep. Doug, 619. Doug, you are live on Marfoogle News. How are you?
Good. How are you tonight, Dex?
I'm doing good. Adam will rejoin us in just a moment, but you wanted to talk about biometric tracking from smartphones.
Yeah. So they started doing this back when smartphone technology.
The space economy is going to grow from around $350 billion to a base case of approaching $1.1 trillion by 2040.
Hello?
Hey, Doug,
I'm Adam Jonas.
It seems like
we are Morgan Stanley.
The ad on Adam's computer started playing.
Throughout his life, John Lewis.
Oh, no worries.
So why don't we just wait a second? Hopefully he'll come running back and turn that off.
Not only lived
I don't want to cut you short on this conversation, because I think you've got something really cool to talk about.
Tonight we gather
Right on,
here
man.
in this magnificent stadium.
Hopefully, I'll talk over this for the moment so that maybe we don't get hit with whatever content it is that's playing
Lewis,
in the background.
growing up, was angered by the unfairness of the Jim Crow South.
But
He credited Martin Luther
so,
King
Doug,
Jr. for
I do
inspiring
appreciate you
him to
calling
join the
in.
civil
Hang
rights
tight.
movement.
We'll get to you in
And
just a
eventually
moment.
Lewis would
And
become one of
this
its
is
most prominent
what
leaders.
Adam has on the screen,
As a
folks, is
student,
civil
he
rights
organized
legend
sit-ins in Orange
John,
counties.
Rep. John Lewis, I guess, has passed away at 80.
In the early
and
60s, he was a freedom rider,
That's a good
challenging
one.
segregation at interstate bus
So,
terminals across
John
the
Robert
South.
Lewis, an American politician,
embodiment
civil
of
rights leader.
nonviolence.
He was
He
U.S.
frequently suffered
representative from
beatings by
Georgia's
angry
5th
mobs.
congressional district, which is where I am. I don't
Lewis,
think I'm in the
23
actual
years
district,
old
but
at
here
the
in
time,
Georgia.
was the youngest speaker at the
and
1963 March on Washington.
I think he served since
We do not want our
1987.
freedom
and
gradually, but we
was
want
the
to be
dean
free
of
now.
the Georgia
Then,
General
2 years
Delegation.
later,
So
led a march for voting
he has
rights.
passed, and that's
Selma.
what the noise is we're hearing in the background until Adam comes back in from looking
On
at
the Edmund Pettus Bridge, he and the other
the
marchers
comment.
were met by heavily armed state and local police.
So, Doug, just
they were
hang
set
tight.
upon and beaten. Lewis suffering a fracture.
Yeah,
the fun
can the audience
would be
compare me
forever
over this?
remembered.
Not really. It's kind of noisy.
The images
so I
of
would not.
brutality shocked the
Don't
nation.
don't waste
Galvanized
your
support for the Voting
your
Rights
great
Act signed
content or
into
what you
law
want to talk
by
about
President
on
Lyndon Johnson.
talking over this right
Lewis
now.
never lost
Let's let it
his
play
young
out, and hopefully
activist
Adam will
taking it
will
from
be back
protest to politics.
really
Standing up for
soon.
Well, I
what he
just
believed
wanted
was
to
right,
think
Lewis
too
was
that
arrested more
the
than
Delta
40 times by
Aquarius
police,
meteor shower is
according
taking
to
place.
his
The last
congressional
gentleman that
office.
called in,
I'm on my way.
so he
We're
got
gonna win this
something
race.
secondary other than
He was
common
elected to
meteor
city
wise.
council in
Yeah.
Atlanta, then to Congress in Washington,
It is
possible
representing
he's
Georgia's
got a-
5th district, fighting against poverty.
Isn't
and
there
for
2 meteor
healthcare,
showers
while
back to
working
back
to
in
help
Perseid
younger
coming
generations
up,
by
or
improving
just recently
education.
happened? I can't remember.
Yeah.
He reached out to young people in other ways,
Perseid and all
co-writing a
this. So,
series
yeah,
of graphic
we're still,
novels
you
about
know
the
what,
civil
we're
rights
technically never out of a
winning him
meteor
the
shower
National Book
because
of
we're always in the Kuiper belt. So
Right.
In a life of so
Right.
many moments and great achievements,
Yeah, there's technically never
the
an
achievement
end
of
to it.
another
They
in
just name
2008
they just name one every month.
meant the most. The election of President Barack Obama.
We have
Well,
never been just
let's
a
see if,
collection of
I'm in northern
individuals
Arizona.
or a collection of red states and blue states. We are and always
well,
will
hopefully
be the
Adam
United
will
States of
get
America.
back real soon and turn this off so we can have a
The dream
conversation.
of
It's kind of
Elizabeth was
noisy,
too
and
impossible
I
to
apologize
consider
to everyone
decades
out there
before.
if you over this. Page there, and it's just going to keep playing until Adam returns. And unfortunately, it's what happens with a live show. Things do happen like that, and so now we can talk to Doug. Thanks, Adam.
I am so sorry. It is a live.
No worries, Adam.
It is a live show, and apparently that CNN website just went nuts.
And it waited long enough for us to think everything was fine, and then boom, it decided to play a video on us, Adam. So hey, Adam, why don't you take it from here? I got one more caller. I'm going to get in lined up. So
All
and
right.
Doug,
Sorry
start
about that,
your
guys.
call because we didn't really get anywhere.
God, I am so sorry.
Right on. No worries, Adam. How are you this evening?
Good. Well, sorry about that. And
Good. Did you get this?
again, I apologize. Yes, I do
Yeah,
have.
no worries.
I have the info here. Let's see here.
Did you happen to see? Did you catch a look at NeoWise tonight?
No, and that's the thing, and I really do apologize to you guys. This is the problem. This is why I don't know if you guys know this, but every night before the show, we have to transfer all of the articles into this format. These are all original. It says view original here, so like news@yahoo.com. It will actually go to the original article. But the reason why we have to do that before every single show is so stuff like that doesn't happen. That's an automated video on CNN. Like here, look at this. In the corner, you can see that it's playing some video off to the side. It's like, the web is just so crappy. So part of our show, we have to actually, go and do this before every show. So I really do apologize. We probably lost 1,000 people there. But anyways, go ahead. Biometric tracking in your phone. This is exactly why we don't like to do that.
Yeah, and it's a little more ominous than some people will even know at this point. So when smartphone technology first was put into the hands of the public, everybody was, talking about, it's tracking you through, GPS, and that they were correct. But since then, these things have become so much more than just GPS tracking. They've become biometric tracking. Our smartphones have the capability of measuring your heart rate, your pulse, your saturated oxygen. It knows the color of your eyes, the sound of your voice. It has tone generators. It has tone detectors. These things are pretty spectacular. When you think all the technology that's in them, you would have a whole garage full of stuff probably worth about $80,000 to $90,000 if you broke it all down. So let's get into why they have us all distancing and wearing masks. The biometric sensors that track us actually have a 3-foot span to collect your data. The reason that you have a mask on is because the facial recognition systems in the terahertz imaging camera that's located on the front and back of your phone, it's a tiny little chip.
Supposedly, by the way, we've got to say your theory is.
Okay, you say supposedly, but I have all the data to back up what I'm speaking.
And we can send people to your theory and your data and your facts, but again, we still have to make sure that we cover our butts because we'll just disappear. You won't.
Right on.
But this is very interesting. So you're saying that our phone, both the front and the back phone camera, which I've always thought had kind of a purpose there, play a part in all this.
Yes. Well, so the little sensor that's next to your camera on the back of your phone is actually a spectroscopy sensing camera. It can literally tell you the saturated oxygen in your blood. It also can measure your heart rate. And these phones supposedly can take your body's temperature as well.
Oh my God.
Recently there was
That's crazy.
Recently there was the FCC opened up a spectrum for licensing. It's for that 6th generation spectrum of terahertz. So if you have a terahertz camera already on your phone, they need the terahertz spectrum to be open to take a look around and see what's going on whenever you hold your phone. So not only does it know you, it knows you. Your phone knows you. It knows the sound of your voice, the color of your eyes. It knows your facial features. It knows your body temperature. It knows your stress levels. And it knows where you're standing. And now with SpaceX Starlink satellite systems, the United States Space Force AEHF Advanced Extremely High Frequency Constellation, and then we also have the Black Sky satellite constellation over our heads. These are all part of this biometric tracking. They were introducing some kind of a tracking mechanism for this flu bug that's going around. And then just recently, and I mean recently as of like 3 o'clock last night, the announcements were made that the instrumentation to open up the paraocular imaging systems that are also built into this phone have been fully designed and are ready to be implemented. So they have us every which way but Wednesday, because the only two things that are left, or really the only thing that is left, is our financial system. They're ramping up the digital currency. The coin shortage is the beginning of this. The coin shortage is going to lead into a paper shortage. You'll have reasons like the vector of transmission will be paper money. So as this all goes down, they're going to move all that to your smartphone as well. So that means no more private transactions. No, you're basically not going to be able to hide from this unless you just outright get rid of your cell phone at this point, or your smartphone at this point, because it'll track us on every aspect of what we're doing. It knows everything about you, and then everything is like the Internet of Things. So part of this locking you up in your home was to get your movements through your house, so they know what room you're in, when you're in that room. Let's see.
Li-Fi.
So
Li-Fi.
Starlink,
That's why Li-Fi is coming out.
Absolutely. That's what the SpaceX Starlink constellation is. It's global Wi-Fi.
Well, I'm talking about Li-Fi that's actually coming for the... Are you saying... You're saying the same thing? Li-Fi? Like L-I-F-I. It's actually... It's internet through light.
Yeah, I was saying Wi-Fi.
Okay, so Li-Fi is actually
stuff.
going to come through our lights. An actual LED will be able to be faster than our typical Wi-Fi. And it is real, and it's
Correct.
happening. This is creepy stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's part of the Internet of Things that you're talking about.
So just think about it. If I'm wearing a mask and I'm standing 6 feet apart of somebody, they want to know that it's me, actually me. So my biosensors would start to blend into somebody if I was standing closer to them. And then because of the terahertz imaging system that's on the front of your phone, and the back as well, but the one on the front of your phone, while you're looking at your phone, talking into it, it's scanning your face to make sure it's you. Even if you're wearing a mask, it knows it's you.
I know,
So,
and that's why what they brag about. They say that, the face sensors are so good that it could get you when you're turned, if you grow a beard. I think about this. People were excited about the new iPhone with face detect and how safe it was. They said, even if you gain 30 pounds or grow a beard or any of this, it will be able to get it from just a couple of things. That's shouldn't be a happy thing.
Remember that weird app that you could punch in a date, take a picture, you hold the camera in front of you and you put in a date to see what you would look like 30 years from now?
Oh, yeah, the Face app, the Russian app that was taking all of our stuff.
Right. All this stuff was to make the facial recognition systems, tighter and faster and just, more accurate to their readings. So
Yeah.
this thing will be able to tell if, you know, say it sees me and my brother, we kind of look alike. He's a little bit older than me. It can decipher who's who at that point because he looks like me aged. He's about 5 or 6 years older than me. So appearance-wise, he's a little older. So they can actually do this. You can't trick these things anymore. As a matter of fact, my Alexa just made an announcement to me about 3 or 4 days ago that she was ready to learn my voice. So the voice recognition software is being worked on if you own an Alexa. They're starting to do that. All the updates for the biometric tracking for the flu bug that's going around have already started downloading onto a lot of people's phones already. And most of them think that you can turn it off. You can't turn these phones off anymore. You shut them off, the display goes down. But you don't even have access to the batteries anymore because they do not want you tampering with these things. This phone that I'm holding right now has, like I said, almost $80,000 worth of technology if you broke it all apart and set it in a room.
Well, that's why we are working with eDeck now. And again, I just want to remind people these bags can seal out and seal in all of that. So, again, with everything that's going on,
you fall off the radar whenever you put your phone in that bag.
What was that?
I said you actually do fall off the radar when you put your phone in one of those bags.
Exactly, and that's why we've been traveling around with it. So my wife even said that, you know, the crappy part is, like, so my wife used one and she put it in it, and then I tried to get a hold of her and I realized, oh my gosh, she's got her phone in the bag. So that is one thing I have to warn you guys about, is if you have a wife and a husband kind of thing, hopefully it's not a kind of a thing, but anyways, if you have that kind of thing, you have to remember, if your significant other has it in the bag, they're not going to be able to get a call. So you'll have to wait, and then they have to pull it out and check it when they get back. Or if they're not, the thing is I've been doing it like everywhere I go. So like Dex couldn't get a hold of me, or, you know, because you're not tracking they can't track where you go. And then basically I only have my phone out of my bag if I'm at home. So it's just, there's a downside to it. It's a sacrifice to not be tracked.
Right. That is the downside, and that's by design as well. Because not everybody's going to use one of these bags because they need to be in touch with their peeps all the time. So you might throw it in there in the evenings whenever you're at home, just so that you're not being hit with all the EMF.
Yeah, no,
because
I get
that's what's really going on here right now, is we are being controlled by a frequency. The whole world right now is under a magic spell frequency. The television is called programming for a reason, television programming. And what they do is they set out the tone. And then everyone tunes in. So notice all the language. So they set out the tone, we all tune in, and then we're in their low frequencies. We're being squelched, literally. And when they put out their narrative, and then we take it and we spin it around and spin it around, we're doing exactly what they want. They want us tuned into this. So then you have the Space Force constellation, you have the Starlink constellation, and you have the Black Sky constellation. These all have the capability of sending some frequencies through your phone and propagate through the air over us. Have a lot of people, or yourself, Dex, any of you guys been having weird dreams over the last 4 months?
Yes, actually. In fact, more dreams in the last 4 months than I have in the last 4 years. But yeah, I do. Hey, 6119. I do need to let you know that you do have to kind of finish up because we are on a time schedule. But yes.
Okay.
So what do you think the dreams are from?
It's from the frequencies, because what happened was on March 26th of 2020, mid-lockup, or beginning of the lockup, the United States Space Force launched its satellite that Lockheed Martin built. It's called the AEHF, and it's an advanced, extremely high-frequency satellite system that relays down to Starlink. And Starlink is about 350 miles over our head. I have Starlink on film, by the way, several hundred of them going over my head here in northern Arizona. about every 4 days. But anyway, those frequencies up in the spectrum of the terahertz, which is number 6, they can affect the SMR waves of your brain. So they literally are inducing a synthetic telepathy, if you will.
Wow.
And yeah, this is everything that I'm talking about. I have all the material to back up what I'm stating as well. So supposedly, this is how it all goes down. You, all of us, every person on this planet is a measurable and tunable electromagnetic frequency. All you got to do is look up EEG, EKG, look up brainwave activity. Notice it's all measured in hertz. So we are a frequency, and we can be manipulated very easily by frequencies that are either lower than us or higher than us. So that's what the whole biometric tracking is part of it. Is
Look
also like synthetic telepathy, the old MK theories. That's all. It's all real. We are living in a Orwellian nightmare with better technology.
And
So-
look at what this thing does. So this is the protected. This is the way that they say it's now up and running. And this is LockheedMartin.com. It is protected satellite communication, guards against full spectrum threats posed by determined adversaries. So China, Russia, all them. So Lockheed Martin made this for us. We launched it. It is guaranteed communications, but it's also using extremely high frequency. It says can overcome multiple nearby jammers. Which, why would they need that right now? Okay, so let me ask you. It sounds like you spend a lot of your time looking into this. I don't know what your background is, but what do you think about us going to a possible conflict with somebody right now? Very close to right now.
It's imminent. It has to happen. It has to happen because they're running this whole flu bug into the ground. People are starting to come to their senses and realize that this thing is not what they told us. First time in history, they locked up the entire world over a flu.
Well, we don't want to say too much on that.
The economy.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
You
everything.
know what I'm saying? So now it's imminent that something bigger needs to take place. Either here's one little theory. Maybe this whole thing about all these objects that are falling out of the sky and moving around us, did they lock us all up so that we didn't see something? Because remember, you're not going to see this again for 6,000 years, as Neo-wise. Well, these are cyclic events, right? If they can tell you that 125,000 years from now, the comet Izon, or go back even further and go Pan-STARRS, I think it has a 106,000-year elliptical orbit around our sun. I actually saw that comet. I'll never see it again 106,000 years later. So if they know all these cyclic movements of planetary objects, is it plausible? Is it possible that something is actually coming our way and they're just getting ready to, squelch all of us so that we don't have to suffer through something? Because I don't know if you ever seen the movie Melancholia.
Yeah, isn't that
kind of described this?
Oh, really? Because that's like a really kind of off-kilter movie about how a planet is coming towards us or something. Isn't that what that one is?
Exactly. Yeah, and people talk about predictive programming. Well, it's real. I mean, when you look back in history of movies, we go back to like Star Wars, Star Trek. A lot of what they were talking about in those old movies is all real now. 3D replicators, these phones, all the holographic imagery. I mean, we have the capability of pulling off that old Project Bluebeam at any second right now with the technology that's over our head. And that was another distraction move via the mainstream media. I always call it the FCC is the Frequency Control Cabal. They're the ones that are in charge of all the airwaves. Nothing gets out unless they okay it. So, all the platforms, they're not the problem. Mainstream
So-
media is not even the
So,
problem.
buddy,
the fact that the FCC.
we can have you call back
Yes.
in, and we usually, if everybody likes a caller, then we usually try to get you to call back in, or you can call in once a week or something like that. You said you did start a channel. We got to get on to the next caller, because that last caller is going to suffer because of it. Again,
No worries. Let it.
what is your channel? Do you have a channel?
Yeah, I'm actually 619 Doug on D Live.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I don't have the capability of live streaming, so that's why I've been trying to get in and tell some of this information to you guys as well, so that it can at least get out there.
Okay, so we're gonna send a bunch of people over on D Live. 619 Doug. Let's try to find you together here. And by the way, somebody said, doesn't he know how to mute tabs? I do. Actually, I usually have all of my tabs muted, but that was unfortunate. Let's see here.
I did start out on YouTube, and that one would be 619 TUBEME, Tube Me, 619 Tube Me.
Okay, I found you. You have 56 followers. It says streamers offline. Let's see a bunch of Marfoogle names following. Iggy Mom, Tim Shelby, Peachy 1093 just followed. Foxy, Maggie Army, Jennifer Lockstead, Indy Light. If you guys want to get his information, head over to D Live and make sure to follow 619 Doug. Well, thank you, Doug. Dude, well, I'm going to be in touch with you. If we have somebody that people like your call.
I sent you some information.
Okay, well,
I sent you some information on it in an email, so you have all my contact if you can find it.
Okay, and then we're gonna, if we need to, we can actually add you to tonight's thing. We can go back to that website and end up adding it. So make sure to check tonight's website, marfooglenews.com, and under the caller information, we're gonna put his channel name and all that. So if you missed it and you didn't hear it, you don't have to rewind. Go to marfooglenews.com and we'll put the link to his D Live. All right. Thank you so much, Doug. You have a great night. All right. You have a great night. Be safe. Be prepared.
Well.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys.
All right. All right there. Let's see. All right. Nappy Soldier. Dex, do we have Nappy Soldier here?
Marv.
What's going on? Nappy Soldier. First-time caller.
What's up, Marv? First-time caller. I've been listening to you for about a little over a year, about when you were doing your last shows in the car. But I just wanted to finally call in and say proud of you, what you've been doing. Great, awesome work. And most props on the music, too. You're definitely got some soul going on, my brother.
Oh, well, thanks. So what is this tonight that you're showing us? Suicides of Hollywood Stars.
I just wanted to call in and say shout out, but also I have a YouTube channel as well, and you actually encouraged me, because most of it was a music channel. But, you know, I've always researched into everything, so you kind of, watching you encouraged me to go ahead and start uploading my research. And I had sent Dex a couple of links regarding IPG, iPad Goat. I did a few pretty good decodes of that, and I found Mr. EpiPen was in it regarding the AC that was in the boat had a little birthmark underneath his right eye, and zoomed in and actually found out that that was the actual shape of the island. And that led me down to a few things, why the fish were jumping out of the water, going into the boat. The video would pretty much explain that.
Wait, so what was up with the fish?
The UFO.
What was up with the fish jumping out of the water? Because I talked about that right when I noticed that. I said it, and the next day there was a huge earthquake in Japan. And because what was weird is all the fish started jumping out of the water in China that day, and I saw the same thing.
I remember that, true.
So
yeah, my theory on this is because, you know, there were striped fish, kind of like, you know, you're in jail wearing the striped suit. And if fish are jumping out of the water, which is one of your words you're not supposed to say, they're kind of not here anymore. Avoiding trial, anything, because if regarding who's in the boat is pretty much with the birthmark under the eye explains that is actually the shape of the island. I have to zoom in, reverse the image, and then I matched it up on Google Maps. It was the same thing.
That's
and that kind
weird.
of led to what's happening now regarding everybody's trying to avoid, trial.
So again, if you guys have not seen the JC in the iPet Goat has a birthmark under his eye, and apparently it's the shape of the EpiPen Island. That is just absolutely weird. I haven't confirmed this, but it looks like. So if you guys want to see what he did in this decode, if you guys haven't seen IPG2, it is the creepiest thing ever, and it predicted the one thing that is one solid. Would you agree is the church, the Notre Dame?
Yes.
I mean, that
definitely. That was definitely
that falling
in there.
down is nuts.
I found a lot of things in there. I watched a lot of channels that did decode them, and a lot of things they missed. I just have a very good. I was always, as a kid when you played the game Match, I have a great photographic memory, so that always helped.
Well, okay, so we're going to send people to your channel, and it looks like you've been working really hard. You have over 1,000. You haven't been love mobbed. So again, you've been doing your thing for a while. A lot of people don't get that are in the Foogle family that got 1,000 subscribers. They don't get how many that is and how hard that is to get without any help. So you've been doing. You did that with music. That's awesome. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I play guitar. I'm in a drum and bass band, electronic band, so I cover a lot of, type A-listers, DJs and artists. So I recreated on guitar and put the videos out there. Not doing my original music as well. That's what I was saying. It was originally my music channel, but you encouraged me to go ahead and start posting my decodes.
Well, dude, I
there
love
was
it.
another video on there where the tic-tac-toe UFO. Everyone's recently, they've been, letting out about the the UFO exposure. But I found that, I don't know how I found it, but it's in the Bible of Ezekiel, Zechariah 5, and explains that, behold, there was a flying roll. And I had to do that decode instantly. I was like, oh, that's exactly what they were talking about. And it also measures it in qubits and everything. So you can send everybody there, they can check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna try to
waste too much time, and I know you got other callers.
I'm gonna try to pull it up right now. This is the tic-tac-toe UFO, and it says to play silent, probably because you have copyrighted music on here. So, okay, I see. So that's that first one.
You can go to
you guys can all
go 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay, one second.
Where it actually describes it in the scripture.
That's wild. Okay, one sec. Okay, look at that. Okay, so I should go to 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Is that right?
Yeah. And that just has the computer reading the scripture.
Wow. Okay, look at that. So, how does, again, with the tic-tac-toe UFOs, how does this fit in here?
Well, it explains in the scripture that it says, it says, behold, I guess one of characters in the was talking to one of the angels, and they were explaining what he was being shown, and it was showing him that, behold, there was a flying roll, and it was explaining that he was saying, what is this? It says it's a flying roll, and it's of 30 cubits, which is about 30 feet.
Huh.
And 10 feet, 30 feet by 10 feet high.
Okay, well, I'm going to have people go to the video and they can check this out for themselves. He did a full-on decode here, and you guys can check it out. Well, thank you so much for coming in and introducing yourself, and I'm going to be checking out your videos. Maybe we can even,
yeah, much love,
maybe
brother.
You could do some.
Definitely wanted to talk to you more about music, too.
That's what I was, but yeah.
You got some soul, man.
I need some, riffs, just especially guitar riffs. I think it would be cool to have you do.
I'd love to just send you whatever you need, man. No charge.
All right, cool. All right, well, let's talk.
Send me some beats, and I'll I got a full professional recording studio out here in Nevada, so
Well, shoot, I might be coming to Nevada. I will see you. I'll see you in a bit. And literally, I'm going to talk to you. Okay. All right. You have a good night, man.
Okay.
All right.
All right, brother.
All right. Good night. Happy Prepper has just followed, so I'm guessing he noticed the Marfoogle fam over there. That's kind of funny. It just showed on my back end that he has just followed. By the way, there was an article here I did miss, and okay, first off, the freedom of navigation off of Venezuela coast. There's something going on there, and then there was one about Africa that I totally missed, and this is some really weird stuff here.
That one's crazy, isn't it?
Okay, I was reading it while I was. Why can't I find it now? Oh my gosh. What the heck? Okay. Dex, could you put the Africa, wait, never mind. I got it. Perfect. Look at this. Okay. The African continent is breaking apart as a new ocean is about to flood over the Afar region. Is that nuts or what? Look at this. I wanted to cover this before we go. The African continent is breaking apart as a new ocean is about to flood over the Afar region. The Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden emerged as the result of a deep geological process that has been going on for the last 30 million years, with Arabia moving away from Africa. But even those waters could soon merge into a new, yet-to-be-named ocean. It says, as the world's hottest continent splits apart. This is not. I mean, this is just crazy stuff. Something is going on underneath the African continent. It has been known for some time that 3 tectonic plates, Nubian, Somali, and Arabian, that lie beneath the continent's Afar region, have been very slowly peeling apart from each other. So what happens if this massively snaps? Dex, did you think about that when you looked this up?
You know, the one thing that came to my mind was all of this seismic activity and these strange things that people have been saying may happen to our planet if other things come into our solar system. And I was just thinking, is this being accelerated? Is something happening here? Is this one more piece of evidence of some of the massive changes that Earth is undertaking right now?
Is a big planet coming in and pulling our natural systems, like some Planet X or some sort of stuff going on there? JR, FYI, SARS, also specific absorption rate of EMFs by human body. All life is electromagnetics. Again, that's why with earthing, people don't get what earthing or grounding is. It's because we're all electricity. Our hearts are electric. Our brains, our brainwaves are electricity. Our literal, our entire nervous system is electrical impulses. That's why when you're grounded, it helps. Capichow, oh my gosh, do you guys understand that the MOB is the digital age? Geez, Marfy Marf, OMG, wow. What this guy is saying is so true. True biz. Capichow, awesome. Thank you for the support. And I believe you're talking about 2 callers ago. Ellie Stortini, thank you for following. I appreciate that. And as always, if you subscribe during the show, if you're watching right now and you subscribe, I will see it somewhere, even if I'm in the bathroom. Brenda Lotez says, hello, Marfam Dex sewing tonight. I make star quilts my mom and dad give away as part of their life mission of giving forward. Brenda Loritz, that's awesome. I would love... well, I wouldn't ask for something that takes that long, but even if you want to sew me a little patch, that would be cool. Sheepdog of Jesus, thank you for following. Amber B. Subaru, WRX, says, congrats on the baby. I love the show. Missed you a lot when you were gone. Neo-wise, sure looks amazing in Mount Shasta. What the heck? Mount Shasta? Why can't I see it? God's Ecclesia, thank you for the support. The right question. Love the fam. God's Ecclesia says, we are in the 7-year timeline. Brenda Weltner, that's ominous. The 7 last years. David Bruton, I tried to give an explanation of why the ship may burn and I got kicked off. Odd. I don't think you got kicked off for that. Honestly, David Bruton of Why the Ship May Burn. No, it could be the automated stuff that's there, but if you're able to comment there, you aren't kicked off. I saw Fireball burn up last night over Reading at 4 a.m. Scared the crap out of me. James Skywalker FPV, I've seen it where they just start falling apart and it looks like an explosion in the sky. It's really, really freaky. It looks like you do FPV. What if you had your drone up there? Wouldn't that have been cool? I always see all this cool stuff and I'm like, gosh, if I could only had my camera ready. Tech Games, How to Do It Yourself has followed. Thank you for subscribing, man. Jen Kilmery, thank you for subscribing. Remember, I see you. Vanessa Doe, I'm thinking all these asteroids are being talked about, so when they release the DEWs, direct energies, on the cities, blame it on the asteroids. Michelle Bybee, thank you for your support. You can always write something there. Jen Kilmery, thank you for joining. Road to Prison, Michigan man stamps 4 confronting him for no mask. So literally took a guy out for having no mask. Then later attacks a deputy. Deputy kills that guy. Might be an FF. Everyone pro-mask. Stop policing anti-mask. Ignore, walk away. Dangerous encounters. I would have to say the same, it's not worth your life. Ari55, thank you for supporting. I don't know if I shouted you out last night. I don't know if you saw that. I really appreciate you and all of your videos. Doc Bill, camos are targeting ANTE-IFA. Perfectly Imperfect says nothing, but you did super chat. Remember, put a message there. And then Dad the Gamer, Dana Coverstone, please look him up. And then David Bruton again. Yes, I did see his latest video. Let's see here. By the way, Dex, if you could put the top DLive people in there as well, I am going to say adieu. We will probably cut the... Okay. We will probably... Let's see here. Probably going to cut the shoutro short because we did take a long caller. So again, we're probably going to get out of here. If we're on DLive and we host somebody that you don't like, just don't watch. I'm going to start also hosting gamers every once in a while if I can, just to spread the love around. Okay, so Chickawowski, looks like MRSA 1 is number 1 over on DLive. Tuck Pup is number 2. Chickawowski is number 3. Foogle Fan is number 4. Baldy Locks Awake is number 5. Debbie O, number 6. Lidgy 1000. Kelly 2334. Tower Bear is always on there. Thank you. You guys, Tower Bear, Kahaja Fly Girl, Kelly 2334, and Baldy Locks Awake. You guys are always on there. Foogle Fan, thank you for being on there. Thank you guys for all your support. Susan Donahue, thank you for being overall. There's a few names that have just literally gone way, way above and beyond. Sometimes they go way above and beyond and then disappear. Don't disappear. Tower Bear, I think I saw Neowise this morning around 6:20 a.m. in the east skies from Houston, Texas. Kaja Fly Girl, thank you again. Thank you guys for all supporting. Tonight I bid you adieu. I love you guys. Dex, I love you. With cherries and hearts.
Oh,
we didn't meet.
I love you
we
too,
didn't.
Adam.
We didn't make the 2-hour cutoff, did we?
No, we're over. We were really trying. We were close.
The thing is if we go over 2 hours, it will not process. And right when this show is done, it's going to start at like whatever 2 hours. So if we go at 2 hours and 30 minutes, it's going to start at 30 minutes in. It will only process the last 2 hours of the show. So it will literally start 30 minutes in, no intro, no nothing. It's really pissing me off. It wasn't doing it for a while, and then it was again. I just don't get it. So it only processes 2 hours of the show. The rest, it will take 10 hours to process, and it won't even show up. It's the dumbest thing. So it's not that, sometimes I was trying to cut somebody last night was like, said something, we barely got any callers, I liked it when we had 3 callers. We had 4 callers last night, the night before, and every single night. We've always had 4 callers. There were supposed to be 5 minutes. They never are. They're usually anywhere from 10 to 15. And usually what we tried to do is 45 minutes to an hour on news and then 45 minutes to an hour on calls. We usually wanted to have the news less than the callers. And then shoutro was always an afterthought. That never came first. Some people get mad that I do a shoutro because it takes away from the callers or this or that. It's like, guys, if you have to complain about the show, then you don't like it. Just don't watch it then. What's funny is people are mad because they're addicted to it or something. That's what's weird. They're mad because they want more of it, but then they're a jerk.
This show has something for everyone. If you like the news, if you like the callers, or you like the music, or you like all three, right?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. That's all that matters. We love them all.
Well, I love you guys. Thank you for all supporting. You guys were working towards something. We really are. And thank you guys for helping us get there. All of the supporters of this show, I really appreciate you. We're trying to figure out a way to put all that out. Please give a special thank you to the mods. We have several in the YouTube chat tonight. I can't see YouTube. That's what sucks about this. We're trying to fix that too. Johnny Doom, Toss Dare, Joanne, what is going on? For Versabella, West, JSone78 is always in. I'm just kidding. Our head mod. No, I'm just kidding. Inside joke. And then CJ Blaze, we've got all sorts of folks in here. So thank you guys. Love you. Be safe. Oh my gosh, I got to tell you. Okay. No, you hang up. Today, I left a message for somebody and I ended it with be safe, be prepared. And I realized that it almost might sound like a threat because it was somebody I don't know and I'm leaving a message and I said, be safe, be prepared. And I was almost going to say Marf out. And I realized, like, in the context of it, it might sound like a freaking threat. Be safe, be prepared. My tagline is be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. And I literally left part of that on a freaking voice message. It was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Anyways, yeah. Have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared. I'm coming.
Crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News, Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News, Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle News, Marfoogle News, where are you? Only news I use. Marfoogle Apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams.
Someone says, I used to like your show when it was fun. Now it's just not fun. I'll show you fun. I will show you fun right now. I mean right now. I like the way it takes down. Lord Andrew and the Lord with the kick it now. And you know that we've got it down. Teresa Patillo. I just like Coachella. Rose to the moon and the rest of you. You know that we do when we do, we do. Stop it.
I got the chick little, I got the twisted wood, I got the Johnny Doom hanging out with Shotty and Wood. I got the Robin Shaw, Brian Left 5, and now all them hoodie boots. Terry Bell, gotta kick it with Charlie Abercrombie and the tall drink of water with the LB rules. And the lucky ticket too. Pepper Chi with the number 1 2. Bird or beetle, art and fart. Gotta bring it back in a million blur. So much doobie 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 doo. Texas Rob. Georgina. Kimmyzilla. 11 Pagan 11. Char Newton. Phil Billy. Jeff Farm. Missy Wissy. Missy Wheeler. That's cowbell for you, unless you didn't know. Lucky ticket too, gotta bring it.
Welcome to Marfoogle Network. We welcome you. Welcome to Marfoogle News. We welcome you. Welcome to da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. Welcome to Marfoogle News. We welcome you. Welcome to Marfoogle News. We welcome you. Check a while, don't drink of water and the rest of y'all hanging out with the J-Star. Gonna bring back and now we're going out in Texas Raw, hanging out with Brown Recluse and Dog. I'm gonna bring in Nanny ass and hang out with my dogs. Hey Robin Shaw and I'm always doing it, back down and that Wanda John. Gotta bring it back like an on. Gonna go back now I yawn. Got that Dixie dough, Lady of the Woods and Baby Yo. Gotta bring it back and da. Jackie Flowers and the rest, T-Barbie and the Nas Dex. Gotta bring it back to Scrapulicious. I know I love it too. Da.
I love Vigos, gotta get it with the Regos. Hot wire barbs and the rest in the harm. No done to you, Jeff Farm. Gotta love a you.
Hey, I like the Scrapulicious. Gotta go so delicious. I love them Vigos, yeah. I'm just kidding. Da. Welcome to Marfoogle News. We welcome you. 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 Welcome
Mm-mm. Gotta take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Jennifer Gilbert, nanny ass. Bringing melody with the Shutterbird gas. Jim, I love biggas with the yes. I got that lock on I dog. Gonna bring the nameless block, I know. Got a Bella Rose going no looking up. Gonna do it back around, oh so corrupt. Brown recluse and a tuck pup. I like the day. I like the sound. We made this the other night, and now I'm back and revisiting Dominus of 22. Ducky, hawk, and tall drink of water, yes I do. I would like to say to you, good night and adieu. Have a good night, guys. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.